不朽朝明月，几个年我发现春草间难眠，竹为上。
Lotus show. Hello haters, definite friends of bosses mem. Lotus show. Hello haters, definite friends of bosses.
Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project.
Hey, let me get over here to the comments. Hey, good to see everyone. Wow, we got quite a few people in here. Good to see y'all. Okay, we have a special guest this evening, and hey, Jeff. But I've got some announcements to go through first. He hasn't arrived backstage yet. Let me double check my messages. Okay, no messages yet. So apparently he's okay. All right, guys. Welcome. I'm Mary Fabian. Hey, all right. Good to see our special guest is backstage. I'm Mary Fabian, and I'm the founder of Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project. And let's see. I don't know what else you guys need to know. You all know me, most of you. I see there are a few new people in here. But let me get through my announcements. Let's see. Okay, we have a couple campouts already scheduled. Backstage, yeah, Patty, I do. I've got a green room. And the first campout is going to be held at Michaud State Forest. That's in South Central Pennsylvania. In order to get complete information, all the information on the campout at Michaud State Forest, you will need to get into the group, Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project. That's on Facebook. And if you're not already a member of the group, there's 3 questions that you will need to answer. You have to answer them in order to join. But the dates, or the date for the Michaud State Forest campout is April 24 through the 27th. And that is, again, that's in South Central Pennsylvania, right along the Maryland state line. So please come if you can. Okay, looks like our other guest is having some technical problems. He'll work it out. He's pretty techy. So let's see. Our second campout is going to be in the Allegheny National Forest, and that is in northwestern Pennsylvania. Let's see. And again, more information. Okay, hold on. Please hold, guys. I'm going to have to email. All right. All right. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, sorry, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. But, our second guest here is having technical problems. I have to email him. All right. All righty. Okay. Sorry, guys. Jeff, yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. Yeah, in order to get complete information on all the campouts, I didn't give you the dates yet on the Allegheny National Forest campout. That is June 19 through the 22nd. Yeah, Corky, I sent him, I emailed him and the invite. Okay, and our other next campouts, potentially, not written in stone, August and one in October, could be in November also, not sure. My October is pretty much jam-packed, scheduled up, so it's very possible that I'll schedule the last camp out in November, possibly September, but I doubt it because Septembers are usually busy also. So guys, All right. You can order your official Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project merchandise personally through me. You can send me a message. We have t-shirts, hoodies, my book, which I don't have a copy sitting next to me. It's up on the shelf. Right up, right there. And let's see what else. Yeah, you can email me your order or your request, and I can send you photos of what we have available. Pennsylvania, and you have to spell it out. Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project at gmail.com. I will be speaking and have a booth set up at the Forest County Bigfoot Festival. That's Marionville, Pennsylvania, June 6th, 7th, and 8th. I'll be speaking on the 7th at 11 a.m. And there's many more festivals and conferences. I've got a few spread out throughout the summer. I'm really trying to not pack my summer like I did before, with festivals and conferences and so on. That was bad. And let's see what else. Okay. Oh, and if anyone has any prayer requests, please send me a message, or else just type right here over in the chat. Yeah, type in the chat, just prayer request. That's all you need to type. And I'll keep you in my prayers and put you on a prayer chain also if you want. But again, if you have a prayer request, just type in prayer request right here in the chat. And Corky, I definitely will. I definitely will. And Mark, I'm glad you received the sign. Crappy sign. Now, Mark, CSI, the Cryptid Search Investigations, he was the winner of our very last raffle that I held. There's too many people in the chat, so I don't think I can do the raffles anymore. Oh, Corky, sorry to hear that. Patty, okay. My sister Debbie she's doing better. I've been posting information on, she's been having some health problems. I'm not going to go into detail. And, but she's doing better, and she'll be back home possibly tomorrow or Friday. So, but she still needs prayers. All right, guys, and I'll message you privately. If you want an update, I can just send me a private message, and I'll let you know privately. All right, guys, we have tonight, we feature our special guest, Logan, and I hope I don't mangle your last name. His name is Logan Schoessow. Okay, yeah. Of the Bigfoot Livestream Project. And Todd Smith also will be in as soon as he's able to. He's Bigfoot New York Todd. He's been on before. Logan started a company called the Bigfoot Livestream Project and App. Logan is a Bigfoot researcher and software engineer with a bachelor's degree in computer science and over 5 years of field research experience. His background includes leadership in site reliability engineering for financial institutions, telecom database firms, automation engineering, consulting, and mobile app development. So, welcome, Logan.
Hey, good to be here.
Good. And could you please tell me what is the correct pronunciation of your name, please?
You got it really close. It's Schoessow.
Schoessow. Okay.
Yep. It's all right. Nobody gets it right the first time. So
So, can you share a bit what your experience is, and then get into your project?
sure. So I'd say like right now it's like 90% of my Bigfoot research has been in British Columbia, Canada. Heavily focused up there just because of all the activity, and it's a really good site. So I've been going up there since I guess 2020-ish, give or take. I mean, before that, I've really just been an active enthusiast and listener and really interested in the subject and a lot of other paranormal stuff. But
Yeah.
Bigfoot always caught my eye as something that's at least tangible that we could, prove, right? I think it's harder for spirits and ghosts and some other things to put some evidence in there. So kind of just always drew me to that subject just because it's something I, really would love to prove the existence of. So I kind of started in that way. I had a good number of experiences at this base camp in British Columbia where I've had whistle sounds,
Mhm.
trees kind of flown through other trees, kind of a thing. Huge tree knocks or whatever you want to call them, booms, and just a whole lot of different experiences, and kind of what led me to do what I'm doing is I had an experience, kind of close up encounter with what I believe to be a Bigfoot, and
Mhm.
it was walking right beside me next to the campfire at 5 a.m, and I startled it because I didn't know it was going to move. And long story short, I didn't get a good visual, mostly because of my angle and
Oh,
a little bit of fear. but yeah,
that's always a consideration right there.
yeah. So it's kind of a long story upon itself. So if you want me to get into some of the stories, I can, or if you want me just to get into
Sure.
projects, or I don't know where you want to go.
Well, what was your most exciting experience or sighting?
I'd say two of them come to mind. One, so to make a long story kind of less abbreviated, what I was telling about the campfire situation, I felt like I'd have some good success if I was just kind of out on my own, out in the woods, no shelter.
Mhm.
A lot of people that go up there, they don't generally stay out just in a sleeping bag just because they're scared of bears and grizzlies, black bears, mountain lions. So I decided, well, I'll be the human bait. So I kind of stood by, I slept by the fire, probably, I don't know, 50 feet away from everybody else. And everyone else was in a real old crappy camper shell they just use for protection against the elements and bears. Really, it's not comfortable at all. But I sat out there. There was a guy with me, and he ended up passing out in a chair beside me, not even knowing it. And he got up around 3:30 in the morning and he said, good night. And he put another log on the fire, and I was kind of, a little bit off and on, asleep and awake, and just kind of anxious because I kind of felt, like if I'm going to be out there, maybe something would happen. What he didn't tell me when he got up is he got up because he heard a bunch of movement behind him and it was freaking him out, right? So
Mhm.
it'd be nice to know, but it's all good. It's hindsight's 2020. Yeah, and so it was about 5 a.m. The sun was just coming up. It was mountain time. I'm not used to the 5-hour short nights being from Texas, so I didn't realize what time it was. I figured it was more like 6:37 because I'm used to that time frame for the sun to come up.
Mhm.
And I just kind of I literally said it in my brain, in my mind. I was on my side. I put my hands on my chest and I rolled on my back and said, I guess nothing's going to happen. I can maybe get some sleep for a couple hours. And right when I did that, I rolled on my back and this, what I mean, I can't prove it. It felt like more of a feminine, juvenile, kind of, I don't know. It felt more of like a soft energy, to be honest.
Mhm.
But I just feel these 2 feet jump back because I startled it because I didn't know I was going to turn and land like 2 or 3 feet from my head. So I'm just sitting there not knowing what to do. I have the eye closest to this thing is shut. I can see a little bit of blue sky coming up in my right eye, and
Mhm.
I'm still kind of at an angle. And at that time, you really don't know what you're going to do until you're in the moment.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm at a total disadvantage on the ground, and this thing's like 2 feet from my head, and
Mhm.
I'm just like, I'm not sure what to do. So it took me about a minute to get my heart to stop beating so fast, and then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and maybe I'm crazy. I'm gonna just wait and see if I hear it move. And of course, as my heart started slowing down, it starts moving around me. I can feel not really feel the ground, but I can hear the really soft foot movements beside my head, and it was just so soft and ninja like. My ear was toward the ground, or I wouldn't be able to hear it. And it just kept doing that, and I finally got the courage up after about 4 minutes for that. I was like, okay, this is kind of what I came here. I got to look, and ended up turning my head over my shoulder and peering over my shoulder, and it wasn't there. It had already like just walked off. I don't know where it went. I don't know what direction, but I know what it was, and I know it was definitely bipedal.
Mhm.
My opinion of Bigfoot, because the area is so much activity there, and they come in all the time,
Mhm.
and it I couldn't sleep after that, and I was looking around, but the substrate around there is not very good for tracks or anything. It's the Rocky Mountains, like it's hard. It's
Mhm.
not a lot there, so I didn't get any trace evidence, but I know what I heard, and I know what I felt, and that was probably the most intense situation I've been in.
I'll bet. Whoa.
Um,
No, I think you did the right thing by just pretending you were still sleeping.
yeah, I pictured, okay, if I turn really quick, what are they going to do? Are they going to get startled and just kick me, or I don't
Probably
know.
probably just run.
Right. So I don't know if next time if that happened, there should probably be a layer of fear, to be honest, still, but I would try to look a little quicker. Um, but yeah, it was an experience I don't really forget, and
No.
that's and I guess before I kind of get into like the project I'm working on now,
Mhm.
and this is a year later when I went up the next October. This is 2024 of October. We kind of had light activity. I was there for about 6 days. Um, like I said, light activity, some possible sounds, and not a lot of activity until the last 2 days. And it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I have all this on footage. You can hear the sounds and the whoops and everything, but like you just hear this huge howl. I think it would be kind of northwest of base camp,
Mhm.
and it sounded just like something was howling, like not a wolf, not a coyote, something big, and it was in the middle of the afternoon. And I have a guy on footage saying, what the heck is that, right?
Mhm.
And then that's at 2:25, and then 2 minutes later, we're in the middle of the camera footage, and where you can't see us, but we were just sitting there talking about like what that could have been, something else. And we just start hearing these whoa, like that kind of I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like a hoot, kind of whoop in the same sense, almost like a bird, but not a bird. So it was like one to the north, and then there was one to the west, and then one over here, and then the one behind me, and another one this way. And they all did it in different, they all sounded off to each other. So we were in a big circle, and they're all talking. And I haven't heard any birds up there do that. I don't think most of them communicate that way, to be honest. So we're like, oh, okay, well, maybe that howl was the parent communicating, and that was the response back, and they're all talking to each other, right?
Mhm.
So that was the working theory. We're not 100%, but it's a working theory. So we went out into the woods about 200 yards out towards the old growth forest. We kind of camp out where it's been logged in the last 70 years. And then there's a cut line where it's old growth, but they can't cut the trees. They're 200 or 300 years old. And we kind of just sit there and wait, and you can call it, have meditative kind of silence, right?
Mhm.
And we're all kind of scattered a bit, but one of the guys with us said, "I can see you." About 20 minutes later, and we're hearing sounds, but you never really know. It's the woods, right? I can't tell if it's some natural sound or something. Some of the times, because things just fall or things like that. But
Yeah.
and so I kind of look over, and I'm watching, and he gets up, and he's recording, and I didn't know what to do because I didn't want to mess up whatever was happening, so I was just kind of looking. And he said, "Okay, everybody, come over here." And he's showing us the footage, and it's kind of like a blurry head. Kind of, it's not convincing to even a Bigfoot person, to be fair. It's definitely something, but it's not something that's worth worth really showing.
Yes.
But it's but at the same time, a guy we were with, he right when this person said, "I can see you," he pulls out his cell phone and he starts scanning the wood line in front of him. So I'm like, if it's like a semicircle on the right side, here's this guy, and then the far west is this other gentleman, and he's scanning the wood line, and we didn't even know it, but later on we were watching that video months later, and he had captured what we think is a juvenile that's going in the middle of the screen. You can't even see him until he moves. There's such good camouflage into the scenery, and it's about, I'd say, 60 feet away at the most.
Wow.
It just goes right to left, and you can see the hairy legs. You can see kind of the side of the foot. You can see a little bit of the body, a little bit of the top of the head in the frame,
Mhm.
and it's like pretty black, right? I'd say it's more black than brown. And I know none of it, that wasn't any of us. So to me, that made him, he was kind of on the fence, kind of a 80-20 kind of a guy. And he's
Yeah.
been there for a long time. Like, he wants the evidence, and that put him over. So, to me, it's an awesome clip. I think,
Oh,
we'll
heck
probably
yeah.
it'll be probably put out there at some point, but, yeah, I think just that substantiating the experience that the other person was having at the same time.
Mhm.
You could say, well, he was just seeing stuff, but that just substantiates it at the same time. But
Yeah.
those are probably the more interesting things I've had out there. But
Mhm.
like I said, there's been a whole lot of activity. I've found so many tracks, so many trackways, and a lot of researchers don't see this as much, but whatever it is about this troop, whatever you want to call them, they like to do tree breaks there,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
they're everywhere, and I mean, they'll do it in front of you the next day, and it'll be a tree break, and it's like, yeah, that's not natural. So there's probably hundreds of tree breaks, if I don't know, 200 or 300 at least, that I've found there. There's structures there. There's it's a little bit of everything, but it's in the middle of nowhere, 60 miles away from the nearest city. No cell phone coverage, no power, no nothing, right?
Now you mentioned the tree breaks. Were there were they in a row, or were they random, or
Um,
spaced, or?
they seem to be always either pointed towards a trail but they're always at a very similar angle, and the breaks are more of like a pressure break more than like a hard break. Like
Okay.
it's not a hard break. But I mean, there's some that are, I have no idea how they would do it. Like it's,
Yeah.
they're a foot thick. I have no idea how they could break some of these trees.
Yep.
But
Yes.
and then there's
I've
trees
seen 'em
that they
like that.
push under other trees, and it makes no sense. Like on a hillside, go in the opposite direction, right? So there's so much evidence there that isn't natural. There's no way, if you put stats on it, there's no way statistically that any of that would happen naturally,
Yeah.
being so many, and the chances of some of those trees falling in 360 degrees in a certain spot, it's 1 in a billion most of the time.
Mhm.
So it's you kind of have to see them, but they're kind of just like this a lot, right? It's kind of like a hard angle, not acute angle. And there's been a few where you can, I don't see it that much, but I've seen a few of them where you can see the hand indent on the tree, right? So that's pretty cool. I don't see that frequently, but we found a few that are like that.
Oh.
And I think the biggest track we found out there was 19 inches long and 3 inches into the ground. Probably I think 6 inches wide. So we call that the daddy, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I haven't seen the daddy, but apparently when he hits the ground, it's kind of like a T-Rex. That's what I hear. I haven't heard it.
That would be. Something like that, that would be. Wow. Now, what led up to you doing the project? Before we get into the project, what led up to it?
Just really all my experiences there and knowing that they were real. I came out there with the intent of not knowing what to expect and
Mhm.
having an open mind, but at the same time skeptical, right? You gotta
Mhm.
have to have a little bit of skepticism if you want to be at least a little bit scientific.
Yes.
And I have tried to debunk everything in my head about a million times, and I can't do it. There's too much evidence against it. So,
Mhm.
the most probable answer is the most likely solution in my opinion. So, unless there is a hermit out there that's 10 feet tall, that would be the only other option. But I
Yeah.
don't see that being, I don't see that being an option. So that kind of led me to it. And then just my close up encounters and
Mhm.
thinking to myself, like, dang it, I really wish I had a camera on me when that happened. It would have been amazing footage.
Yeah.
And really, this base camp, they take apples all the time as well. It's probably, they do it when they want to, though. It's not like every time. It's like 1 in 3, they'll take all the apples we put out, or
Yeah.
they'll only take a few of them, or they'll take some and put them in a different tree, or they just do what they want to do. They kind of just show their dominance and say, I'm not going to follow a pattern. I'm just going to do what I want to do. And I don't know if that's like juveniles just playing around or what, but
Sounds like it.
yeah. So the people that kind of do that base camp,
Mhm.
they kind of want to bring them in and not make it they want to make it more about the experience more than about evidence. But I think at this point, we want to do both. so I kind of floated the idea of, hey, let's put up some pretty high end cameras out here and see what we can get.
Mm-hmm.
And said they'd be open to it, and I said, well, let me think about it. Let me figure out the best way to do it. So a couple months later, 2023, end of 2023, I said, oh, it would be better if we put up cameras where everyone could watch it and where everyone can see this activity and know that they're real. So that was the mindset I had, is how do I build something that's with that capability and capture data and let the community decide what's going on, right? And
Right.
not just a few researchers that want to hold all the cards. Let's let everybody see it, right?
Yes.
So that's my intent. I listen to a lot of people, and they're always, not always, but a lot of times they're very closed off. They don't want to share their side, and they don't want to share their data, or they might share some of it, but they won't give you everything, right?
Yep.
So to me, it's like, I don't understand why people want to keep all that just because of ego, or they want to be the one, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why don't you just want to prove their existence, and then you can prove it further and be whatever you want to be. But so that's my mindset, and I basically into 2023 to middle of 2024, I just kind of got jamming and started programming, and I had to figure out the architecture for the cameras and the power and how everything flowed and how to get everything to push, and how to get things. So this was like my flagship site for off-grid, right? So it was a learning curve, because my expertise is not in power and DC and AC and all of that, and I've never done it before. So I'm learning a little bit about camera technology, a little bit about power, a little bit about everything on the fly. So it's a lot to absorb. Luckily, I have a background in technology, but it's still a lot, right? If you're coming in cold, it's hard to learn all of it. But so built what I thought was a good footprint of success, and I built the app out to where it would live stream 2 video feeds to start with, and then I just took all the cameras that I bought and spec'd out and brought it out there and set it all up and got Starlink going and got the infrastructure and buried cables and got power and solar and all these different types of batteries and different things, and worked with some people there to on the power. So, and like I said, it was a proof of concept, so there was bugs in it for sure. But so I got the app going in the middle of July, and I had the cameras up by the end of May. So I had some data to start with. And so from May on to November, we probably had put all the days together, probably 90 not continuous, but sporadic days throughout like May to November, where we were working on problems and power and trying to optimize things, and things would die. And anyway, it was just a big hot mess because, like I said, we hadn't done it before. So we did get a lot of data points. I got a lot of audio. I got some visuals, as far as eye shine. I think I captured one that's pushing down a tree limb and looking, and you can see the eye shine. And also, there's one probably 3 or 4 second clip where you see a rock fly into the frame and hit the tree beside the camera. And I kind of have the frequency and the amplitude to prove that it wasn't, anything but a rock, because it hit so hard. But other than that, a lot of slaps, there's a bunch of, probably at least 3 or 4 big tree, I'd call them breaks, or I don't know, they're booms. It sounds like ridiculously loud. And this is on a camera that it's not going to give you what it would sound like there, to be fair.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of data points, and then come wintertime, it gets about -20, -30, -40 there, a lot of
Yeah.
snow.
Yep.
So I would have liked to have it up as long as I could, but I really needed to optimize the power. So from then on out, I've been trying to find sites at the same time, because even though that one's amazing, I still think there's lots of other sites. So the more node systems across the US and Canada, the more data, the more collaboration with people, the more people that could go log into this and watch it. So that's my first effort. On the back side of that, even though people within the app can go in there and watch this feed and then report, and that goes to a database, there's also functionality that I built that is like a data processing pipeline. So I'm trying not to get too technical, but it basically buffers all the video and then does machine learning and AI and machine vision and a lot of Python data science things that go and search for the right frequency, the right amplitudes, ignores like wind from trees, and then really looks for big movements and very particular movement that's slow and steady in the frame. So I probably worked months on just trying to get that pipeline going. So I have the pipeline figured out, and then I hired some I hired some energy consultants to give me their take on the wattage and everything else and what it would take to actually get it more reliable and stable. So I hired a guy that knows what he's doing, and then he basically walked me through what I'm doing wrong and what I'm doing right, and I was like, okay. So I redid the whole thing, and I basically built. So it's not cheap, I'll say that. I'd
Yeah.
say each anything that's off grid, 2 cameras, and I'm actually I'll bring this up in a little bit, but 2 cameras and the whole architecture. I think I have it fine tuned where it'll be about probably 95 to 98% up and available. And that's if it doesn't, you can't control if it's cloudy for 2 weeks straight. Like,
No.
it is what it is. But I'd say it's about 95 to 98% reliable and up now, as far as I've configured it, and it's probably $600 to $6,500 just for one off-grid system, and that is the most efficient. I try to build it the most efficient way possible. And the cameras alone are I have sites that I'm trying to do on grid, probably about 25 to 3,000. So it just doubles in price for off grid, right? So
Wow.
it's not so far. It's pretty much just me eating all the costs, and then there's a few supporters here and there that have chipped in, and they're really great. But I kind of like I said, I've spent a year and a half of my life just building all the architecture and the app and all the science and tooling and all that goes with it. So in my world, if you hire an engineer to build what I build, it's probably $150,000 of like manpower, right? So it's just a lot of work. And I'm one person, so it's been a labor of love. So that's what I've been trying to do, is collaborate and just see if people are open to the system. Like I said, I think I have it fine tuned, and I have the data to where when I get things going this year and everything back up in a few other sites, and this British Columbia site, to where I'm going to have graphical charts inside of the app that tell you all the data points of all the sounds on a time grid. So you can go to that. And then I built a video on demand system inside to where it's going to have up to 2 weeks for every feed. So I can't remember what the hours is on that, but it's like 180 hours or so a feed that you can just watch if you want to,
Mhm.
and resort. But at the same time, like I said, I'm trying to put parsing agents in the background that parse all that data to where you can go to the main trigger points. And I'm trying to score it to where all that makes sense. And if I'm getting too into the weeds with any of the stuff, just
No.
tell me to shut up. But
I'll tell you what, yeah, let me put a pause on this for a second. Yeah, Todd is finally backstage, and Todd, you're ready to come on also? Thumbs up, okay. All right. Most everyone here knows Todd. Todd's from Bigfoot, New York. Todd, he's got a great Facebook, YouTube channel. If you can, go check it out. But there's Todd.
I get myself centered here.
Todd.
Let me get everybody in here. There we go. Okay.
Yes. Hey, Logan, how are you?
Hey, pretty good. Good to see you.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you too, Mary.
Good to see you.
I'm
Okay.
sorry
David
for the
asked,
delay.
Logan, where are you located?
I'm in Texas,
Yeah.
like north, about an hour north of Dallas.
Okay. Yeah. David, he says he has a team of data engineers in Post Falls, Idaho, Spokane, Washington area.
Oh, cool.
So I guess he understands your language.
Yeah. I don't know. Technology's ever growing, so I definitely don't know it all, but doing my best to stay afloat.
Yes. Well, tell you what, you went into the past and building up. Can where are you now with it, and where do you plan on going with the project?
So right now I definitely have the system. I'm trying to get it to go back up in the first couple of weeks in May, in British Columbia, and have all that all finished out. I also just purchased today a very, I call it's pretty expensive thermal camera to add to it. So I'm gonna have at least 2 feeds and a thermal feed, and have at least 3 different data points. One being thermal, but I haven't seen anyone do, at least that I know of. Maybe someone's doing it. Haven't seen anyone do a live thermal feed of a Bigfoot area that's going to be like
Yeah.
continuous, right? So
Right.
kind of excited about doing that one, because
Yeah.
I think we might end up pointing it in the direction of where maybe it'll be kind of far away, but maybe where they usually take the apples, to try to not be intrusive, but maybe have the thermal pointed in that direction.
Now this is a live feed, a live
Mhm.
stream, that is.
Mhm.
Okay. And it'll be 24/7.
Yep. As long as the sun doesn't get blocked for 7 days straight, it'll be 24/7.
Yes. Potentially, and all dependent on weather. And it's the name of your project is the Bigfoot Livestream Project and App. So
Right.
you
Yeah.
have an app also for,
Yeah. It's on Apple and Android. I try to make it into something, because I know everyone pretty much is on their phone now, and
Mhm.
PCs and computers are great, but everyone just wants to be mobile anyway. So,
Yeah.
so I try to make it doable, and just something everyone can do. I know some older folks are stubborn a little bit on that, but
Mhm.
I'm trying. I'm gonna try to get a website going too, but it's in the somewhat future.
Okay, yeah, David says you're writing the cutting edge with implementing Python AI. Funny, it sounds like you built the exact system we talked about yesterday. Good for you, brother.
Thanks, David.
Yeah. All right. So tell us about where, what you're looking for and where you're going.
So, I mean, I've been talking to Todd a bit. So I've been looking at, I really would love to have a system in the Northeast and the Southeast, like Alabama-ish, somewhere around Texas, Oklahoma, Northwest, really all over the U.S. I think they're all over the U.S. That's just my opinion,
Yeah.
based on all the things I've heard and seen and the evidence.
Mm-hmm.
And then Canada is huge, so
Yeah.
it's a little bit harder since I'm not a Canadian, but maybe a few more systems up in Canada as well. But it really needs to be. I'm trying to find the best spots, the right people to work with, the people that kind of have high frequency. It doesn't mean it's every day, but some kind of frequency that's measurable. Maybe once a month, even, right?
Yeah. Active areas.
And it doesn't have to be in the middle of nowhere. It can be kind of in the mix of things. I think right in the
Suburban
middle.
Sasquatch.
Yeah,
Heard that
yeah.
phrase. Yeah, and that fits. Suburban
So
Sasquatch. Yep.
I think around me it would be hard just because of the sound noise where I live. So it'd
Right.
be hard. It'd be hard to distinct things. So the quieter the better. But if someone has a lot of activity and it's measurable, I'd love to work with someone, right?
Yeah.
So it's hit and miss. I've had some feelers out and almost and didn't happen, and a few other times, and so I'm really just looking for great people to work with and collaborate with, and I'm not really asking for anything other than to, if you own the property, to utilize your property to do this research. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm open to help pay for electric or whatever on the site, and if you need. A lot of people in the rural areas don't really have good internet, so a lot of this might be powered off of Starlink. So you could use the Starlink when needed, right? So I'm just, like I said, it's hard to find good people, and then it's hard to find some of these bigger sites that claim to have all this activity. Those are the people that don't want to work with me, so it's a little frustrating. So
Yes.
it's like,
No.
I reached out to some people the other day, and they said, "Well, yeah, I like what you're doing, but no thanks. We don't want to collaborate." And I'm just like, I don't understand. Like,
I know. I
all
think
right,
for some people, it's a matter of concern for the privacy, because it's on a live stream, and also they may be afraid of interference with the local clan, how they will react to it.
yeah, yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, how
And
would you address the privacy concerns?
uh, unless someone is really dedicated, it would be really hard to use this system to figure out where it is. It wouldn't be worth anyone's time, to be fair. So
Mhm.
there's really a privacy concern. It's I wouldn't disclose any locations. I don't put any of that out there publicly, and then the video doesn't have any metadata that would actually trace back to any certain point. It all goes up in the air into cloud systems and has so many different points of security reference. And like I said, some people, if they tried their best for 6 months, maybe they could do something, but it's just not worth it.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so yeah, it's that's kind of where I'm at. I've got someone interested in mid New York right now, that thinking about putting that site up there in May as well, and then Pennsylvania. I know I've got some people that are interested. I just need to make sure the site is, I don't want to just put stuff out there and hope for the best. I want there to be a little bit of frequency. So even though there's a lot of people that may be interested, and maybe they've had a sighting or two in the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. Sometimes it's difficult to say whether something should go there or not. It's just time, money, energy, right, with everyone else too.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I know for sure I could have 2 systems up in the next month, but looking to grow and work with people, and I'm kind of an open book. So if anyone that really wants to dig at this and help me do something, like, hey, let's do it. Like I said, I've got 3 kids and multiple things in the air here, so it's like I've got so much time, and I've been working till like 3 a.m. in the morning and getting up at 7. So it doesn't always compute for me. I am working with. I'm trying to work with some people that are kind of well known in the field, and trying to grow traction and kind of build some collaboration and I guess you would say respect from some of the people that are well known in this field. But it's kind of hard to do that too, because you got to know people that know people, or people just won't even talk to you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's there's clicks everywhere, so I'm trying to find people to talk to.
Yeah, that's the hard thing right there. And getting people who are in active areas to contact you and to at least talk about it and learn and see, voice their concerns. And I just in the chat I put the your contact email for them. It's in the chat, guys. Let me see it, because David, he asked where can we donate or find your work online? Have you started a GoFundMe or accept donations?
I haven't yet. I've thought about it. I've kind of gone back and forth on the crowdsourcing thing. I mean, I'm open to it. Like I said, most of it's been me, and then a few other people that have I have a passion for it, that have really been helping me. But I just I'll think about the GoFundMe. I don't know, maybe it's prideful. I just I'm trying to do it on my own a little bit as far as financially. So it's hard for me to take money from people. It's just not like it's not one of the things I've ever done in my life. I'm always just a self-started kind of a person. And
Well, before
That
it's into your
speaks-
bank account.
Yep. But that I love his humbleness, and that speaks of the honesty and humbleness.
It really does.
I didn't mean to interrupt here.
No, go ahead.
But Logan has a lot to risk too. This finding the right fit, is going to be tough. It's not impossible. Like I keep saying, the juice has got to be worth the squeeze. And people worry about their privacy and such, very understandably. But he's not going to invade their property. Somebody might scout it a little bit more to help with the camera location. Keeping in mind, we would keep lanes open, because if you like the activity there, cameras just take a small picture of things. So there's a lot of choices to be made and a lot of groundwork to be done to do it well. Yeah. But at the same time, as Mary knows, is you got to kind of keep another avenue open for them, because we would be as concerned about stopping the activity, or this could stop the activity. It's a balance that we'd have to analyze. And with the camera location would come the discretion to not reveal somebody's location. I mean, you're going to have a tough time on Google Earth to start matching trees, so they couldn't geolocate it. There's a lot of work on his end, and the that risk. He probably has more risk on his end than the property owner. Honestly, I've been talking to Logan a long time, thinking about it. We have a location we love this in, but
Yeah.
you know, it's not a fit for those people, and
Yeah.
I understand and respect that 100%. So it has to be the right fit. I mean, the risk that Logan's taken just with this stuff being stolen. So obviously he doesn't want other people or it being hoaxed or something like that. So
Right.
if you think of all those honest motivations, how it helps protect the property owner as well. And, you know, we don't want to stop the natural activity. We can't forget to talk about the thermals with your camera. I have some reinforced observations recently. So some tips with that, we can talk about whatever. I actually made a couple notes. And, you know, the site has to be a good fit for everybody involved. The opportunity that he brings to the Bigfoot world, this is amazing. And think of the fun, you know, you notice most of the people in the Bigfoot world are kind of long in the tooth. So all the people that can still be part of this by reviewing that data, because that still takes people at the end of the day. And this is another thought I had with this channel or whatever it is you want to call it, this platform. There needs to be a reminder on the screen to have people, when they're really interested in reviewing, to look at it on a bigger monitor, because that was my delay earlier, was trying to not have to use my iPhone and get something bigger, because we need to look at it with a bigger screen, you know. And that's just a side thought there. You know, he has ways for people, the property owner, to disable these cameras pretty quickly, right? You know, say you wanted to go hunting or whatever it is you want to do on your property. It's pretty easy for them just to turn off, right?
Yep. And I can do it all remotely as well. So just tell me, whatever, my grandkids are coming over, I don't want them to possibly go on a camera. So just, you know, let's put a disclaimer up and say down for service and turn it off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It is what it is. I just think it'd be interesting, and especially, I know there's a lot of people that have that suburban Sasquatch, with people things coming on their property, slapping the house. I mean, the curiosity you would have to have. Well, you want to talk about a security system to help you figure out what that is or isn't. It's quite an opportunity. And boy, the fit has to really be qualified. When you think of all the investment he puts in, but the actual setting up the cameras and all that, so I guess the point I'm trying to make is the investment on the other end, his end is huge if you really think about it, or anybody that helps him. So it'd be like protecting our own best fishing hole or favorite tree stand, you know, without even saying it. We are so motivated to keep the integrity of the site, of the people, of the project, that if you think about it, all that is just natural. You know, nobody has to be told, because, you know, it's a mutual benefit to protect that for people. Just to give people a reassurance, because I know that's a huge hurdle for you to cross. We've been talking since August, and I've been grilling him. A few others have, Mary and I, and you know, it's integrity, humbleness, simple of the, I don't know if I to say mission necessarily. And Doug Hychek put us together. I mean, I know Doug's quite excited about your project.
Yeah, I've been working with Doug. I know. I'm sure he wouldn't mind looking at some of these feeds on a continuous basis.
Oh, he would love it. Yeah, yeah, yes.
But yeah, he's Doug's been great. Doug's a great guy.
Yeah, yep, he is. Well, before I forget it, so my experience last time I was down at the R&R site, I captured some incredible audio just right outside the bedroom window. I put a Zoom recorder. I opened up the bedroom window, stuck it in there, so it was captured behind the screen so it wouldn't fall out. We'd been experiencing the house slaps and stuff. You can hear this thing come up on this cobble and starts breaking branches off the rhododendron bush and starts chewing it. It sounds exactly like an ape. It's another project Mary and I are going to do, going over that audio. But it's really, I mean, I had 2 nights of this for hours, and we know this has been happening. But I guess what was really kind of disturbing is how close they get to us and to what extent. I mean, these things were hugging the foundation of the house. So as when you're standing there looking out your window, your line of sight's like this. You can't really see straight down, and they know that. I think this would blow people's minds. So an observation I made coupled with this audio was, so when I was there, I would go to bed, lights out, and told myself, if I can, 30 minutes, hop up with a flashlight and look out the windows. Or if anything woke me up during the night, not even knowing why, I would do that. So about 30 minutes later, I hop up. Now, mind you, there's no lights on. It's completely dark in my room. I just got out of bed. So, it takes me a second to get the flashlight, walking over to the window. What I captured on audio, this is before I'm looking out the east window. And before I clicked the flashlight, it has a distinctive click. The audio picked up a tree knock from this blind that we referred to. So it's only, just inside the woods. Each time I hopped up, and then you hear click, click as I'm looking around with a flashlight, not even out that window. So it was reinforcing their ability, even at that distance, see me move inside the bedroom in the dark through glass. I don't think it was 100 yards, but there was no light in my room. I mean, even how they saw my body move was incredible. But from that exact same location, multiple times I've gotten thermal hits, and I, got that one. I had showed Mary where I was actually carrying the camera on the selfie, and it had the Seek thermal on it. I pretended just to walk up the ramp. Well, I was, but I was just holding the camera recording. I was going along. I got to the edge of the building. I just kind of leaned out real quick, and I caught one of them doing the same thing, leaning out and looking. And because of the comparatives that we have there, it's at least 8 foot. But the point being that, and the blind, the heat signatures that I get in there, the only images that I'm getting up close is partial images. Hence, with your Apple idea and the thermal, you would want to really analyze where you think that they're staging in from to that apple. And frankly, I wouldn't necessarily focus on like that apple. I would focus more, better chance of capturing, at least with the thermal, that further distance staging in, because I think they have greater confidence. That's when you're going to get the peaks and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind with the thermal, that it may point. Actually be a benefit as they peek out from cover, because the thermal may still have the same effect with them up close, whether it's light or dark. And we all thought that they could see well at night, but what this that last trip, that experience I had, and multiple times, and being reinforced with the recorder, with the tree knock, with the click of my flashlight. Absolutely. It blew my mind how they could see me in the dark room. But before I turned the flashlight on, there was a warning to the one that was under the window that I was out of bed. How could they see me get out of bed?
Maybe he heard you possibly, or who knows?
This is out in the woods. You know
Well,
what I mean? All
yeah,
I'm doing is just taking the
yeah,
blankets off, rope, getting the light, walking around the other side of the bed. And,
yeah,
and by the time I sat up in bed is when the tree knock was.
yeah.
Each time. Because I did it 3-4 times. And the creature was out there, because at the same time, when I was comparing audio
Mhm.
to my actions, it was just outside that window underneath there, sitting there eating away like
Mhm.
like I think sometimes only a foot away from the microphone. And then of course there is now the heel handprint
Yeah.
right next to where the mic is. In other words, the mic would have been here. It was putting its hand on the window, probably almost having its face in it. I don't know why the microphone doesn't bother me. I had the little red light on it, you know, and
Yeah.
they knew right where it was.
Now, Logan, I have a question. The thermal. I know you explained before in a conversation that we had previously about how the camera itself, you have it set so that it won't pick up just the trees moving, or that it won't trigger and to just get a bunch of photos of the grass blowing in the wind or birds flying by. What about the thermal?
I haven't got well, I this is like kind of new, so I probably won't get it in for a couple more days. So I haven't even got to tweak it, but it would be more of a gradient. I'm thinking through, it would be more of a gradient color change and movement, pixel movement and gradient more than
Mhm.
anything. So I'd have to loop that one into it. I don't think it would be too intensive, but that's my thought firsthand of doing that. So I could at least get if I sorry. Uh, there we go. Sorry, I was getting feedback. I could at least get like multiple data points of sound. So if we're hearing sounds and stuff off the other ones, or even that one, we could look at the amplitude of sound and then kind of go off of that if at the first, and then try to build the model off of the actual heat temperatures and the differences. So really long term, and this is, I think it's cool, but long term, when we get enough data points, we should be able to put all that into a model, because that's basically what I'm building, and then make that into an actual, whatever you want to call it. If we get enough data, like into a Bigfoot model, right? So you could put that into like an edge computer connected to a camera, and I could just publish the model of, hey, these are all data, like this is the model of Bigfoot of movement, amplitude, frequency that we built, and other people could use it and try to put it into their systems and say, okay, here's the real-time model that you just connect to. And because there's so many open source projects for like building models for like birds and bird sounds and all these other things, right? But someone could technically say this is what I think a Bigfoot does and try to do that, but until they really have data for it, I don't think it'll be accurate, right? So that's what I'm trying to do, is capture all that so we could build a model to pump, and that way it'll be real time instead of more of batch processing. So I put an edge computer with the system, and then right when it fits the picture of the model we built, it would, kind of be like a Ring camera where it alerts you when there's movement, but this would be confirmed high score for Bigfoot activity, right? Right. That's what I'm trying to do, is build that. And then, once you build that, everyone can use it, right?
Mhm.
And just publish that, and then everyone can connect that to their systems
Oh.
and try to, use that as a reference point. I mean, they'd probably be, some nuances to it, but like, you know, um, I think that would be a pretty cool project to implement out of this, is to have it open source, just building a model on Bigfoot, right?
Right.
And hopefully we could capture, audio and like real good video evidence too. Maybe it'd just be an audio to start with, right? If we don't get a lot of footage, like maybe if there's a lot of audio, like, oh, well, here's the certain things that we're looking for in the audio, and then when you're watching something real time, it'll, you could implement that on the edge computer connected to the camera. And
Kind of like a notification for the
yeah,
camera to
yeah,
start.
kind of,
Oh,
kind
that's
of like,
brilliant.
what
Yeah.
Rings,
Yeah.
Ring and the doorbell cameras do. Like their
Yeah.
models built on certain, like they built a model around it, and that's what the micro computer sensors, like that's how they alert in milliseconds, because they already have a model there that they're pushing the data against. If it hits the score it's supposed to, that alerts, right? So this would be a score based on Bigfoot. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that would be the long-term goal. Short term is just putting all the data points together, like I said, like having all that data there collected in multiple databases, and then ingesting it in a time series to start with, and then trying to build the model off of it. So that's my long-term goal. But yeah, that's it's interesting. But yeah, the thermal is going to be something new, because honestly, I haven't got to play with a lot of high-end thermal. I think it's always been something I wanted to do. So thankfully I'm hopefully going to get that going, and maybe even do multiple, if I could find the right way to do it, and even maybe another site, because it doesn't take a lot of wattage. It's like 12 to 15 watts for some of these cameras. So I did find a military contractor, because I'm trying to find the best thermal possible. I mean, they're pretty high-end things. So that would be something that maybe I would try to do a Kickstarter or crowdsource for, like these high-end. This company I talked to, they sell their cameras to the USDA Forestry Services and stuff to do their data science on all the animals and whatever they use it for. So I know it would work, because that's what the government's using. But the price tag on it's like $13,000, right? So
Well, in reality, though, it's $100, because about the what is the $1,300 hammer.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
But on this, you would rely a lot on the property owner to for their knowledge of the pathways and the entranceways of where the Bigfoot are coming onto the property, or traveling on the property, so that you could have the cameras placed correctly in the best way to catch them. So it'd be a good collaboration.
Yeah, for sure. And I know it's a little bit controversial, because people think you put cameras up and the activity goes away. I don't know if that's true or not. It could be, it could not be. I don't think there's enough data there to decide, and I don't know if intent has to do with it. I try to put my stuff up with the intent of, if you want to show yourself, you can. If not, it's not like a trap zone, right?
Right. Right.
So that's been my intent, really, is to give them an angle to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Because I think they're a lot smarter than people give credit to them. So, and I don't know about the woo stuff. I don't know if they can read minds or intentions or not. Like, I have no idea. It's possible. Anything's possible.
Right.
So I
Body
just
language alone.
I try to put that intent out there and hope for the best. And the other thing is, everyone says the IR scares them away. So I've, after talking to Doug and another guy that he works with named Adam, they figured out a good solution. That's a good solution with these smaller cameras where they could turn the IR off. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, so I got all that and played with it, and then I took my whatever more closed circuit, bigger cameras, and it's like, okay, I know I can do this. So I've changed the exposure and everything else on it to where, if there's a little bit of moonlight or sun like reflection off of clouds, you can see really clearly at night, and it looks, like it's not super daylight, but it looks very close to daylight.
Mhm.
So when you
I've
could
seen those photos that he did.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Well, like our iPhones will do it,
Yeah.
and it's amazing the distance that it got, and that was without any IR, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the good thing about these cameras is I can set up schedules. So if I look at a calendar when the moon's going to be out, I could just set up a schedule and be like, these are the nights IR is going to be off. These are the nights IR is going to be on. So I have to deal with it.
It
And
would just be a longer exposure,
mhm.
I would think. Yeah. And
But
I'm not very savvy with cameras, but at least I know that much.
yeah. So I mean, even like new iPhones, they have really good night pictures you
my.
can take now. So
Yes.
everything's getting so good. I've thought about just putting tons of iPhones out, but I
Yep,
think
yep.
I think I'd really have to break them a bit because they really don't like to stay up. They're not really built for it. And I haven't jailbroken iPhone. Like, I don't even know if you can do it anymore. It's been, I've slept since then, but I mean, it would really be good project to do if someone knows how to do it, because a phone's just a computer with, I mean, it's the same thing, right? And it doesn't work off a lot of wattage. So you could have an iPhone connected to a battery. It could probably last like 14 days if you have the settings right.
Yeah.
And then you can directly push that. I mean, it has all the functionality built into it. So maybe the future of doing some of this stuff is just using, hacked phones more than even some of these high-end security cameras. So I don't know. I don't know.
You
There's a lot
never
of opportunity.
Now, what would the homeowners, so you got somebody to cooperate with this. They're not a Bigfoot researcher, but they're definitely interested because things are going on in their property and they've seen things. What would be expected of them? So let's pretend that I said yes. Okay, what's my responsibility role in this now?
I guess it would depend if it's a homeowner and they have power. I mean, that works for my advantage because it's cheaper that way. But inspection would just be a light load on power because none of these things are really heavy on power. So whatever the power bill goes up, I would just pay the difference as far as power goes. If they don't have a high, an internet signal where they're at, or if it's not the greatest. I've been using Starlink for all these things. Luckily, I guess that's one good thing Elon's done is Starlink. But I know everyone's hating on him now, but the Starlink's pretty good as far as I mean, I can get 2 feeds going at the right bit rate at about 2 to 3K on each camera, and the Starlink can handle it. So, I'd probably I'd pay for the Starlink system, but I mean, they wouldn't really have to do anything other than, tell me the rules of their, expectations and just collaborate with me and, don't get mad at me and take my stuff and throw it in the river one day,
Right. So like their Wi-Fi data streaming, I'm just trying to think of the objections, had to overcome. Like if they had internet, I'm assuming this would be all Wi-Fi signal for you. you'd be able to boost it or hardline connect it.
Um,
I think maybe
I
people see you drilling holes in their home or something. I'm trying to
I wouldn't.
remove.
I try to do hardline stuff, so I try to make everything as clean as possible. So I do try to connect most. If it's through my system, I connect everything through hard lines and don't even do Wi-Fi. So really, it would just be at the most a few cables coming out from some junction of their house, right? And I could I
Right.
could work on all that. It's if anyone has ever had a satellite dish or an antenna on top of their house, it'd be the same thing. There's some junction where wires are coming out, and we just have to figure out how to get that going.
Right.
So it would
And
be
if it
clean.
pounded, burying some cable, hiding it,
Mhm.
addressing it so it didn't get hit with the lawnmower or the weed
Yeah,
eater.
yeah,
know,
a cable. They have those cable things with you can bury the cable quick. I can't remember what they're called.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. I've always done it by hand.
Yeah, I
Wish
did
I
it by hand
invented
in
that.
Canada, but they have like a little thing where you can make it quick and bury the cable. All the cable I do is you don't need a pipe for it. It's all outdoor
Okay.
ready,
Yep.
bury ready kind of cable.
So the homeowner doesn't have to worry about that.
Nope.
Try to do the least interruption of your life as possible. And I think sometimes people feel like they're going to be invaded by all these outsiders. It's not the fact. I mean, you would expect them to be there once or twice. And let's say it was somewhere that was feasible for Mary and I to go to, we might, as needed and agreed, we might come to move a camera a little bit. But there's no invasion of the property. I think
Yeah,
see
it's
that.
and we can probably go out 350 feet away from the property if they have enough acreage or property line. So it doesn't have to be sitting there in the corner of their house. It could just be 100 feet away, 200 feet away. It has that functionality because I try to use IP-based cameras. So just one cable will go into the camera. That's it. It powers it, and you get the network connection off it. Same cable.
Okay. All right.
So it's really just burying that cable wherever the camera goes, mounting it, figuring out the best place for it.
So where
Yeah,
that cable comes,
excuse me. Yeah, David Russell says T4 to the router. If that makes sense to you. To me, it's like,
yeah, bigger pipe,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
yeah.
okay. He also says, would it work if it were on the roof of the cabin, better or worse? I think
like hanging from the roof,
Depends.
like hanging from the roof, or like
or pointing out from the roof, maybe, like
Maybe.
or
It
down
depends.
into the. It would depend on the perspective. Oh, he says mounted. Mounted. It would just depend on how the Bigfoot are coming onto or into the area.
yeah, it would work. It would work on the roof. The first time we put up one of the cameras, it was basically connected to the side of like a roof of this RV-ish, whatever you want to call it. So I mean, I can make it work as long as it's got to be mounted. So some kind of board there that it drills into that mounts to the house, or
I think
some
that
kind of
right
structure,
there,
right?
I think that right there can spook some people.
Mhm.
The idea of somebody coming over drilling holes. Oh, good enough.
I mean,
years later, I got this leak. So
well,
we
you
would
could get a 2 by
proactively.
you could get a 2x8 too, right? And just put it into the ground and just have it on the top of it. Or if you have I put one in a tree 15 feet high, right? So we just climbed the tree and just manhandled it. So
Now, what about? I'm sorry. Can
No,
you
go
hear
ahead.
me all right with these? Are these better or worse? Do you think? Is there a delay when I speak with the earbuds or with them
There's
out?
no delay, but your voice is slightly distorted.
All right. They're disconnected.
Oh, better.
Yeah, that's better.
Is it better? Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's better.
I'm trying to think ahead with everything, and Oh, I had to use the bigger screen because that looking in the iPhone just roasts my eyes, and
Yeah.
I couldn't get the signal to work through that. But anyways, I forgot my point now.
Oh, yeah, just like mounting stuff, right?
Oh yeah, yep. That you obviously want to be. You don't want to be intrusive. Keep it simple, and whatever the homeowner wants or doesn't want. These cameras are really flexible to mount to different things, or like you say, even like a stake or a tree. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's just
Yep.
2 to 4 screw hole, like 2 like screws.
Right. So I think should, and you probably already have it done, but like some kind of a proof of liability insurance, because these days and age,
Yeah.
no, like I'm bonded to be on these farms and stuff, and the policy's cheap.
Yeah, yeah.
I think people would like that and provide them that. Just trying to think of all levels of risk for them.
Yeah, we can do that. I do have this just incorporated into an LLC, so I can do that.
Like an
just,
umbrella.
Yeah, it's just, it is what it is. The world's what it is. So it's just easier to go that route.
Yeah, and they're fairly cheap, but I would talk to your insurance agent, and I think it's nice when you tell people that and you provide a copy that many people don't even think about it, but just address the problem before it's a problem to them, give them comfort.
Yeah, I was working on doing just some bare minimum, agree to let us on for, I don't know, could be 6 months, could be 3 months, could be a year,
Right,
or
right.
whatever they want to do.
Yep.
Right.
Twist my ankle. Yeah.
Right. And then really all the footage goes to the back end. So technically I would own it, but if the homeowner wanted any of it, they could have whatever they wanted. So I guess it goes to me. If they really want it, they can have it all. If I'm flexible. If they just said, get rid of everything, we haven't found anything, I don't want any footprint of my property in the world. I could just show them a video of me wiping it all out.
Right.
Whatever they want to do, right? I don't care about. I'm not here to sell any of it. I have like a rotation. So my plan is to keep, depending on the site, somewhere between 3, 6, 12 months of data. And I can't keep it all, right? It's terabytes and terabytes and terabytes of data with that many feeds. So it's going to be hopefully parsed and rotated and kind of put it into cold storage. And then after it's in cold storage, we'll just wipe it out.
Because it's going to take time.
Where you would count on the people watching on the app.
Right.
The subscribers, if they see something of interest, they would be able to message you or say, hey, I want to save clip from minute 37 to 37:08 or whatever.
So there's some creative ways to do it without even getting me involved. To be fair, if you're savvy with some of these phones. But yeah, it's technically when they have a feed up, they'll have, if they see something within 2 hours, that 2-hour buffer would be on the video on demand section. So they could go back to it. So that way they don't say, hey, I think I saw something 30 minutes ago. Will you? But there's that. I'm open. If somebody sees something, say, hey, will you send me the footage for hour 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. on this feed? And I'll be like, okay. And I'll just send them a MP4 of it, and they can go at it. Right? Yeah. It might take me a day or two to get back to them if I'm busy, but I'll send it to them. Like, I don't care.
That's the whole idea of all this, and the other people looking at it, in addition to the homeowners, everybody is. It's gonna. You correct me when I'm wrong. It needs human people to look at it.
Yeah, watching the feed.
See something, and
it does.
And you can hold that for a while, so they can replay and do different things with it. And also, one more question too. Let's say you do capture the next petty footage.
Mhm.
Is there could there be like a co-ownership with that property owner too, as far as, rights? If it was,
I mean, to
I'm trying to
me,
get all
yeah,
sides.
yeah, of course. I mean, if we get some amazing footage, it's not, I know some people are out there for the glory and the discovery. I'm been in the background, to be fair. So if somebody said, like, sees something on there and hits the button on the, like, when you're watching the feed, you can hit a button and do a report, and then it goes to a database that's real time and it collects it all. And eventually I'll have, it's hard to do because if I push all that where everyone can read it, there might be some hot mess garbage that people have to sort through. So eventually maybe we'll have it to where it's sorted to where everyone could just look at it, and there won't be, some people on there just being annoying and saying I saw a
Right.
snowman in the right corner or something, right?
Yeah. The
But
dog man.
yeah, they can do it that way, as far as that. And then if they really find something awesome, we'll just name it after whoever found it. We don't name it.
Yep.
We just say, yeah, we found it. This guy found it. This is what
And
we're using technology, and these are the type of cameras we were using. And hey, here's the whole 24 hours worth of footage. I'll just post it all out there and be like, here's the time of reference.
Yep.
Here's what happened the day before. Here's what happened 3 hours before and 3 hours later. So nobody's really doing that. They're just saying, hey, here's a video clip for 3 seconds, and I'm gonna put it on TikTok and try to
Yeah.
try to get somewhere with it, and it has no backstory, no anything. So
Yeah.
it's really about accurate data. It's about accurate reporting. It's about having, all the video, like any closed loop security, like you can do the timestamp in the bottom, and it'll have the timestamps, and it'll say whatever. People can do whatever they want, and there's a lot of cool software out there that takes things out. But if they really have really good footage and they try to take out every single bit of it, you're going to tell where it comes from. I can be like, oh, I have all that. It's right here. All right. So, it's going to be hard to, but people can, screen record on their phone too, right? If they're watching, they could just screen record for 3 hours if they wanted to,
Right.
and then grab their screen recording. That's a common iPhone setting, just to screen, like record your screen and show a video, or do a screen, just a picture. I don't have it locked down like Netflix where they won't let you do it. Right? They have it figured out where you can't do that, right? Like I'm not that hardcore about it. Like I'm not concerned that much about it. So
Now, can they pause, at least on there?
yeah, you can pause. There's like a minute buffer.
Okay.
So there's a good buffer there, so you can pause. And like I said, I have a contact in there. You can email me. You can submit that you saw something. It'll go. It reports right to me. I see it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, like, I don't want to annoy people though. Like I want to get like push notifications where we're having activity, but I honestly hate when things send me push notifications. So I don't want to annoy people that much, but I could do something like that, if people really wanted it, to where they see something and then everyone logs in and tries to look at it, right? But I don't know. We're not there yet. We'll see.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, Lavon has a question. She asks, what criteria would you be looking for in the landowner, prints, or etc.?
Bigfoot isn't proven, so some of it's word of mouth, right? But just whatever, some kind of frequency. If you have frequency, I'm sure there's gonna be some kind of trace evidence. There might be some prints, some breaks, some kind of evidence. Like I said, it's subjective a bit, but if you're just honest with me and say, hey, yeah, they come on, it's pretty frequent. I can't tell you amount of frequency, but maybe once every 2 weeks, once every month, or they roll through here every March for 30 days straight, something to that nature. I'm trying not to be super picky, but at the same time, if somebody had a sighting 10 years ago and it's one time, it's like,
You have to be.
I can't just go off of like a one-time sighting. It has to be at least some kind of frequency, right?
Right.
But if there's a lot of activity and you may not even see them. Maybe you just hear them all the time, or you
Yep.
find tracks, or your dogs are spooked all the time. I don't know. Could be anything, right?
Yeah.
And it would be really helpful too if there was some kind of local researcher that could help vet the information
Yeah,
a bit
yeah.
more,
And that's what
also
I've
know
been trying
kind
to
of the
do.
history of that area, and hence back to the other part of the collaboration.
And you know, putting a recorder out, like some of the folks I work with, they'll go and just put recorders out, and see if they get anything for a couple days. And it's sometimes it's easier just to listen to audio or find the audio points. There's some good software out there, but even just saying, hey, I've had frequency, and I don't know, maybe I could coordinate and have someone put some recorders out just to see if we can catch some audio. But like I said, it's subjective.
It
No.
is, but I think there's plenty of people out there that are experiencing that, pebbles being thrown, the house slapping, maybe not necessarily seeing them on their property, but there's that real close interaction with their house, because it's not just this R&R site we go to. I hear the common things all over the place, and I'm sure that when people are experiencing that, they become inquisitive into this. And I think that would be a nice place to target, would be people are having interaction with their home.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. They're having what we would call a habituation situation.
Yeah. And it
Preferably.
could actually give that homeowner a sense of security as well.
Yeah. Well, that's David's point here. He says, heck yeah, your system doubles as a free security system for someone.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is true. I mean, it might even start activity for all I know. I don't know. And some people don't want activity.
Yeah.
They just want them to go away. So like I said, just got to find the right people that have some kind of frequency, and
Either
either want them to prove that they're not crazy, or
Right.
they want to
Right.
they want to prove the
Yeah.
existence, or they want maybe to have them leave them alone. I don't know. Everybody not everybody's into Bigfoot, so
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people, the activity on their property is seen as dangerous or aggressive. They just
Scary.
want them to go away. And it is. It's terrifying for people.
Yeah.
It was for me at my old place, until I figured out what the heck it was that I was dealing with. But unfortunately, I don't live there anymore. And the present homeowner, I don't think he would be receptive.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
And how close they get to us, I've known that so long, but with this audio and my continued experiences, I mean, how really close they get to us. It's scary to me, nothing's ever happened other than they'll scare the crap out of me, but it's a little disturbing. And man, if my house was having visitations like that, even if I wasn't a Bigfoot researcher, I would have it there.
Yeah.
To know what's going on and possibly learning what I could do about it. You know what I mean? To change the behavior. Where do I need to address?
Yeah.
well, I mean, that's step one. Really is everyone needs to come together and without a doubt say this is real. We're not there yet, so this is a step in that direction. And I think data. I know some people are like, well, you need a body, but I don't know. I think if you have really good video and audio and it's frequent and you can capture multiple, I think that's really good evidence, whether or not people think it's AI driven or not. But I think if you have all of the chain of custody of the evidence, and I don't see how anyone could debunk it. So it's I mean, that's where we need to get, is everyone agrees that this is real and that we don't know everything in the world like everyone thinks they do. Right? I don't know everything. We all live in bubbles and we know what we know.
Right. Right.
And we don't know everything, and we live on Earth, and the universe is humongous, and it's about learning and figuring out stuff. And I think this is a real this is something, in my opinion, it's something that's real, that can be proven, that needs to be proven. And whether or not it's a paradigm shift or anything like that, I don't think it is, but I mean, some people might. But it is what it is, and I think it's worth like going into that rabbit hole and proving that that we're and somewhat of an arrogant people.
Yeah, human nature. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Logan, I have a question about you say proving them. What is how do I word this? If your focus is to prove them, now what do you hope to achieve with that?
I mean, kind of like gorillas, right? You prove they're real, and then you study them, right? So everybody's on board. We can study them. Maybe they do have some kind of old, genetic power to mind speak, or how do they do what they do? How do they live in the woods and not have to have fire? There's so many. It's like, how are they avoided us for hundreds of years? Right. Maybe there's some people that know all those answers, and maybe they're in the military and it's a big conspiracy. I don't know. But all those are really cool questions. And I think, I don't know. If they're real, I think people that really want to know deserve the right to try to figure it out. So I think, you get a group of researchers that really go out and do the real study, and it's, maybe it isn't government funded anymore, because I think that's going down the hole right now, but maybe it's private funded.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't know if you really want the government involved, for one thing. But I don't know if your version of proving them would include government acknowledging them, or you just don't care if government acknowledges them, that it's more the science.
Man, I don't know. It's so hard to get science to and not acknowledge anything.
Yep.
So maybe this would lead to, in the future, a real science of courses of these people, right? Because I think they're a people. I don't think they're an animal. And just go from there. But I don't know. I'd be really cool in 100 years from now, they have college courses saying, "Oh, we discovered that there was these offspit of human beings living in the woods with us for the last couple thousand years that were really good at evading us." And this is how they did it, and this is their skill sets, and these are all the features that they have that we don't, and this is how they see it in the dark, and this is how we don't see in the dark. And I don't know. There could be a whole evolutionary theory around it, for all I know. Or, you can turn it biblical, you can turn it whatever direction you want to turn it. But it's I don't know, it's really cool to me. It's like the existence of aliens. There's so much data around it, but it's so hard to prove. But I think it's really hard to prove a higher intelligence that's so much more advanced than us than it is maybe an equal intelligence that doesn't like technology. So, I don't know. I think it's harder to do the UFO thing, especially if they're millions of years advanced than us, or it's from some other dimension or whatever. But everything is a step forward, right? We got to take step forwards
Yes.
and not backwards. And
Yeah.
I want people to know and get out there and try to do their own research and not make assumptions, all right, based off of what their professors have told them or what their the bubble they live in. Step out of the bubble that you're in and actually get out there and look.
Mhm.
And maybe you'll find the answers, maybe you won't, but at least you're open to trying to see if it's real or not.
Yeah. Now, the app itself, is it free to get on, or is there a to watch the videos, or is there a
I made it subscription based just to cover costs. So right now and I can always tweak this. I'm just trying to figure out the best model and the cheapest for people and the most reasonable. So right now it's $4.99 a month.
yeah, that's not bad, really.
Which I can't even buy a drink for that anymore. So
No.
No. Yeah, considering that each and every person who subscribe or gets on the app, they are part of science. They are contributing to the science and to the discovery, and to help other people learn, about these. Once they, okay, you're watching these videos, because there's many people who are bedbound and wheelchair bound. They can't get boots on the ground, but they want to contribute in some way.
And be part of something.
Yes.
Yep.
And this is a way for everyone.
I mean, a movie costs $4.99 to rent.
Yeah.
And I just think it's reasonable and that people would do it, and especially knowing that they could be part of this. I mean, they have to be part of this. Anybody, anywhere, needs eyes on. And,
and it's really there for infrastructure cost and I don't know. There's just so much cost on my end. I'm trying to balance the cost, but and then it's really built on the back end of things. It's built kind of the same architecture of like Discovery and like all the new streaming platforms. They're using this very similar back end architecture, so it's really scalable and reliable. So if, let's say, we had 5,000 people or 10,000 people or 100,000 people watching all at once, it's doable, right? All that auto scales. I tried to design it with the best technology possible to where it won't, it doesn't get overloaded. I'm not saying we're going to get that many people or that many watchers. It'd be awesome, because the more eyes on all these videos, the more possibilities there are, right?
And the more cameras that you can put out there and more locations that you can help get a little bit of money back to help fund.
And the more people that do that, the more sites we can get, the more, the better technology, the better cameras, the more I could maybe do cross collaborations with people, raise money, do all these things. Maybe I could hire someone to help me, right? So,
Todd and I will help as much as we can. I've got time, so you can put me to work in some way. I'm not a tech person, but
we can learn some stuff, though.
Well, I think it has potential to grow, and I'm hoping people can appreciate it, and know my intention is really just to get this done and get it discovered, and have everyone that I know. There's millions of people that like Bigfoot or into Bigfoot, so having that community of people trying to do it that really want to. I mean, nobody's doing that. Everyone is just siloed everywhere, and there's a team here and team here, and there's there's BFRO stuff, but I don't see all the data from that. I know they have a website, but I don't see all the data. I want to see all the data, right?
I'm trying
Mary's trying not to laugh.
So yeah, and then even if we get a bunch of camera systems up, like having, if the property owners would let us, having people go out there and camp in that area, and maybe have like sometimes these areas have more activity when people are there, you know? So having a team of people that will go to some of these areas and try to stir up some kind of activity, right?
Yeah.
The one in British Columbia, there's going to be people there off and on throughout the year. So I like that aspect of it, because I think there's more activity sometimes when people are there, and even like right
Okay.
after people leave, I've noticed 2 or 3 days, it seems like they're trying to poke around to see if they're still there. You know, they got pine cones hitting the RVs, and slaps on the RV, and
Yep,
all these
yep.
things.
Yep.
So it's like they're trying to figure out if there's somebody's there, or, you know, trying to. Anyway, I think it has a lot of application to it. Trying to think if, I don't know. Like I said, there's a multitude of things I wanted to get done with it. But most of all, I just want people to have a place to go and try to figure it out, and then to work with really good people, and just, you know, be honest with it, have integrity with it, not try to fake any of this.
Yep.
Try to find reputable sites and real data. And if anyone did try to, you know, be funny and try to put costumes on or something, I would just turn the feed off and get rid of that site and delete all that, and we'd move
And if
somewhere
it's
else, right?
If it's in Pennsylvania, call me, or in New York, call Todd. We'll go collect your cameras and your
Yep.
gear. And
Yep. But I think this, you know, a lot of people that are interested having things happen, and I think that's how many of us started as a researcher, is something happened to us, and these people that are living with it, those cameras, what a way to jump in, and you don't have to buy them. I mean, you go from, okay, I'm having this going on, to, wow, what a system. And to be part of something, the friends you make, I would imagine you could be as involved with the project as much or little as you want, like you're saying, you know, and you can just have it. Don't bother me, or inviting people to research there, you know, have a campfire with them, and you make a lot of good friends with this. It's the journey, isn't it, guys?
Yeah.
yes.
I would wake up the next morning and look at all my data points. I'd be like, I wonder what happened last night, because I'd watch.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm my own subscriber. I sit there and watch the feed like for an hour before bed, and, you know, you kind of get anxious a little bit, because you're like, you know, you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
So and then I'd get up and I'd look at all my processes and be like, oh, there was a bunch of sounds last night. There was a bunch of movement last night. What is this? Right. So to me, it's fun. Like there's discovery there. And I don't know, like, to me, I like it. Like, even if it was a deer or an owl that flew or something, right? Because sometimes I do have some owls that fly by, that I've captured, and got some red foxes. You know, so it's not always Bigfoot, but
Right.
at least you get to see a little nature too, right? At least in the deep woods ones you would.
Yeah.
Now your system is set up to pick up certain specific movements, like
so like larger. It's hard to tailor, right? So I need more data points, but like I've picked up really minute movements, and I have it tailored for kind of larger pixelation movements in the frame. So it's something that's a moving target right now, just because it is what it is. Like, we don't know how to really. I can get it to where it doesn't alert for trees. That was easy. Or wind, or something that's you can see in the whole frame of movement, right? It's just like like I said, I have this one where this branch is coming down like this, right? And that's what I'm looking for, those subtle movements
Yeah.
like this, right? And or the subtle frequency amplitude, like the frequencies that need to be listened to, that, you know, I know people that they hone in at a certain frequency because they always seem to have activity at this type, right? So building that and then a model around it is going to be good. And I don't remember if I told you all this, but like I even have it, like I have this, one of the cameras is up on this tree that's 15 feet up in the air. And I showed it to a couple of people and they don't seem to, they're kind of hit and miss with it, but it really sounds like something, and it sounds like a person to me, being a male, is peeing on this tree. And there's like, it sounds like a male peeing on it. It doesn't sound like an animal. And you know, the end of the urination sounds like a man peeing. And I just think it's weird, and it's more data. It's like, are they marking this tree?
Yeah, there's a couple extra squirts at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did share that with me. That's.
I was trying not to be too graphic with it, but you know,
Right.
it is what it is.
Right. Are you able to show any of this video that you have? And that, like,
so
one with the rock being thrown, is that
yeah,
something you can play for her
on
or
the. I'm trying to think if I have it on this PC or not. I do have. I'm pretty sure. Like when you sign in, I have some of the videos on just social media stuff, just so people could get more of it. And I have a handful of. I need to update it. I've been really focusing on trying to enhance the background more than post some of these videos. I've tried to post as much as I can. But there's a section for like reported videos on there. I think there's 4 or 5 on there in the app. And then there's a, like a video on demand. I call it a video on demand section because you can watch all these videos. But also you can just go to some of my social medias for like Bigfoot Livestream on, I think I have a Facebook group, and then I have a Instagram. I do have a YouTube. I don't think it hits month. It doesn't get much traction on YouTube.
But it is.
It's all out there. The rock throw one is definitely out there.
Because I could bring it up if you have something on YouTube.
Yeah, let me see if it's on YouTube. That's the one thing I know I need to be better at is social media stuff. My wife is amazing at it, and I try to get out in nature and less in the socials, but it comes with the territory.
See, that to me right there just demonstrates his integrity, that it's not about putting it online and stuff. You know, it just. I love Walter's comment that he made.
Yeah, do you hear the zipper?
The zipper.
Yeah.
No, if I did, it would have been funny though. I'd be like, well,
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I'm not finding your channel.
Hold on, I'll see it.
Oh well.
I have it. I have it up on YouTube right now. If you want me to send it to you.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
So this video, like I said, the camera's about 15 feet in the air. On the left side of the frame is where the camper shell stuff is. I don't think you can see the camper in the frame, but the reason I put the camera there is we always seem to have a frequency of activity in that kind of corridor direction. It's probably, I'd say like 70 yards from the camera. So you can get a good reference to kind of like this base camp is kind of like almost like an open field, and then there's hills around it. And there's tree line all around it. It's like almost like a circle. So I try to have the stuff on the tree line to begin with. So it's in a tree, looking at the tree line across from it. But you can see this this rock get thrown in, like out from the darkness in that area, and hit you can hear it hit the tree behind the camera that's the camera's mounted to.
Now, is the channel name Bigfoot Livestream Project?
Yeah, it's just called Bigfoot Livestream. I can't remember what my @ symbol is. Like I said, I'm bad at YouTube.
Okay.
It's at Bigfoot Livestream. It's at Bigfoot Livestream.
Okay. Yeah, not finding it, unfortunately.
I put it in the private chat on the StreamYard.
Oh, okay. All right. Hold on a second. There it is. Okay. All right. All right. Oop. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, I'm not real good at this, and I hope it works. So let's see. Share screen.
So that's just kind of showing the amplitude.
Oh.
Like you can't even see where it's coming from. It's
Yeah.
so they throw it. So that, anyway, that's, to me, that's so that's another thing. Like they seem to have extremely good accuracy at
Oh
throwing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and I don't know if that's like just a natural ability or some kind of skill set or something that's learned, but it seems to be that I've heard that multiple times that their throws are accurate.
They absolutely they are. I have multiple videos. I'm at that sliding glass door, analyzing the prints, recording, and you can hear right next to me on the siding. The woods is behind me, 40 yards maybe, and it's got to be back in the woods further to be concealed. And it'll be the tiniest rock. I don't even know how they propel it. And tink, you can hear it bouncing off. And at one time, Dave Wargo was sitting with the FLIR looking out there, and it landed between us. And there was more than one launch, so implying that they were out for like something that small. I just don't know how you would get that weight and velocity. You could hear a few of them first go through the leaves, and we just thought it was acorns falling. But there is not an acorn that's going to fall. They can ricochet, right? We've been faked out by that. That's one hell of a ricochet,
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, they can do it. And their accuracy and this kill box that I keep analyzing, that's the one thing I always find, is cobbled stones that will be on the ground, on the leaves, so implying, since the foliage fell, that cobble's been put there. And all these, because we hear them rock clacking, but apes do that, missile of opportunity, and early, I apply my knowledge and study of, archaic man and how they hunted. It's exactly what they do. And I do want to follow that up with the one thing we need to be grateful for is they don't throw their poop like monkeys at the zoo.
Yeah. Yeah, please no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is something to be grateful for.
Yes. But I mean, just stuff like that. Having those cameras, even if you don't see something, I guarantee that you're going to capture that activity, because they test those cameras. Oh, that's the research site. The people, I talk to them all the time. So if she's reaching out, it seems like, Mary, when you and I talk about that site, things are happening.
Yeah, she's
Talk
she's
about this
watching.
intent and stuff.
Yeah, she's watching on YouTube. I hope. Yeah, I forgot to send her the link.
Yeah, I did too. It
So
was a busy day.
hopefully she's watching, and because if they hear it,
Yeah,
they react.
yeah. And they did that one time when you and I were on.
Yeah.
And she's like, it reacts to our voices. How do they know? I mean, it's just, I'm sure it's coincidence, but it makes you wonder.
Yeah.
And then think of the excitement too, that people would have with these cameras on their property. Because I'll guarantee if they're having activity, what else are they seeing? Balls of light.
Yeah.
I'll guarantee that, right? I can't say that they're related, but there's one seems to go hand in hand with the other. And wouldn't that be really curious to capture and validating the homeowners? You know, I see these balls of light. You know, you can hear the wife saying, I see these balls of light back there. And husband's like, you're crazy. It's just a firefly. Think of the validation between the two of them.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen, when I was out there, I saw a burst of light above the tree line, probably at 2 a.m. that didn't make any sense. But as far as the cameras, I've seen balls of light appear and move around and do some weird things. And I can't tell if it's that or if it's some kind of refraction off of something. I don't know. I don't know what to think of it. So I can't say it's anything or not, but it is interesting. I do capture that sometimes, and it's debatable. So I don't know. I'm hoping to see more of it, but I have seen some of that.
Yeah, that. Those anomalies are going to happen with cameras. They're going to be tough to debunk. But when that homeowner site that, you know, has the camera with the activity, when you see it with your own eyes, you know what I mean? The discernment that you have there, that's not a reflection off of something because it's your own eye. And I just think that would be validating to the homeowners as well, the property owners.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And if you get any one of these down in New Jersey, you might get a bunch of drones. Who knows? Nothing to see here.
Yes. Yep. So much more to be discovered, really. Just on the cusp of things, at least from what I know. Maybe there's some people out there that know a lot more than me, but
all of us.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you know, I appreciate Mary, you having me on, and Todd, always a blast talking to you too.
Yeah, you too.
I probably better get off of here because I need to go help with my kiddos. It's almost bedtime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. And, you know, I know that, you know, by the response of the chat, you know, they've been enjoying it. And here, another message from David. He says, kind of uncanny. I own an online marketing media company, and my brother owns 3 data centers. I had an incident happen to me last summer that changed the game with Sasquatch. He'll reach out to you.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, David. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I've seen David in other shows. I recognize that name.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, people are comfortable, whether they want to, reach out to Mary or I or directly to you, whatever.
Yep. No, anyone that reaches out, I'm happy to respond. So I'll get back with you within a day, probably. Anyone that
Yes,
wants
he
to reach
will.
out. So, and like Mary and Todd said, if anyone's really interested in this project or has a habituation or high frequency area or an area of interest, even, feel free to reach out. There's also a form that I put on a link on the app that you can just fill out and it'll go right to me. It's just a standard online form, but I just figured I'd have something out there so someone could use the form. But yeah, or if anyone even knows someone that knows someone,
Right. Network.
Yeah.
right. That'd be great. And right now, the live stream is down until the first couple weeks of May, unless something happens in Pennsylvania in the next couple weeks. But like I said, I plan on hopefully having something in Pennsylvania, hopefully maybe New York, and then I'm trying to collaborate with a few folks that might be a level of interest to people that I don't want to talk too much about because I don't want to say too much or ruin anything. But I'm trying to get that going too. So right now it's really video on demand of the last few weeks, some Radium, and then I'm going to have Radium back up, and then like I said, I'm working really hard to find some new sites, and I really want to get another one up in the next couple weeks. I was supposed to have one back up in February, and it just kind of fell through and fell to pieces. So it is what it is. So really, really excited for the summer though, because I'm really hoping to have it and at the best of it, 6, 7, 8 feeds up. So I'm working hard to get to that.
Oh, we'll
Yeah,
do our best to help you get there.
And if people have questions, reach out to Logan. Don't hesitate. It'd be really nice if we could get you up to the Forest County Bigfoot Festival there, Allegheny National Forest, in June. That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm trying. I'm trying to logistically think of how I can do it.
Yeah, I understand. Clone yourself, invent that teleporter, and yeah.
I do have a twin brother, so I guess that
There
might
you
work.
go.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yep. Do you really have a twin?
I do, yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
I'm sure your wife and kids won't notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect having a twin. I never really thought about the plausible deniability of anything in your life. Wow, what a benefit.
Yeah. Yep.
Wasn't me.
Yep. It's great having a twin. I would agree.
That's cool.
Well, thank you so much, Logan. And
Yes, thank you.
if you have any updates or anything like that, contact me and we'll get you back on again. And we'll get more people on, subscribing to your app. I'll put the information up. I have your contact information now on there, and then I'll highlight the name of the app. And again, that's the Bigfoot Livestream Project.
It's just the app's just called Bigfoot Livestream. So
Oh,
if you just type that into the app stores, it'll pop up. You got to get past all the killer Bigfoot games that they have, but it's there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Logan. I love what you're trying to do, and
Yeah.
we will do what we can for you. And I think the community will come forward. Just spread the gospel,
Yeah. There's people on here who are they're responding. I know one gentleman that I know, he mentioned 3 different areas that he works out of. So he'll contact you. And David Rusty, he mentioned also that he'll contact you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there's
that's
a couple
awesome.
of
I,
those
I
great
I
things.
I appreciate it. I enjoyed talking with you both, and
Yeah. You too.
you both are amazing. So I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, you are.
thank you, for the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
Yep.
If you
But
say so. I'm doing my best. I'm trying to keep my head above water.
he's a humble man and a good father, so we got to let him go. So,
All right. Well,
Okay,
awesome.
take
Good
care.
talking.
Yep.
Have a good night.
you too. Okay,
Beautiful.
well, yeah, he's a fantastic guest. And please, guys, if you have a property with activity on it, or you know of someone who has an active property, and it has to come from the homeowner, but get the homeowner to watch this episode if possible. And if they have any questions, have them contact Logan, and that's his email that I have up on the screen now. And
Yeah, it would be a process. We can't expect the
Yeah.
people. Don't hesitate to contact them, because if you contact them, don't feel committed that you've already made your decision that yes, no, I want to do this. No, just reach out to them and just get a dialogue going, and you'll think of your questions along the way. It's not, if you contact them, you got to do this. No, don't. Maybe it's not right for you.
Yeah.
Just don't hesitate and ask questions.
Yeah.
It's a process,
It
for
really
everybody.
is. If they have any concerns, let them know what your concerns are,
Yep.
and maybe, he'll be able to answer them and reassure you,
Yep.
or maybe it just won't work out.
Yep.
This is just something that, you and your family, I know there was another gentleman on here who had spoken with Logan.
Yeah.
He was all for it, but his family, unfortunately,
Yep.
voiced their concerns.
Yep.
And it's unfortunate, but well, maybe they can get their family to watch this,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and hopefully, you never know, but
Yeah, it's
Patty, it's right. Yeah, it's groundbreaking.
it is, and it's a step at a time. And before we proposed it to our study site, you, JP, and I,
Mm-hmm.
we vetted him. I've been talking to him since August.
Yeah.
Trying to ask all these questions, and then we'd even wait a little bit, try to think of what we couldn't think of. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
ask more questions even before we proposed it to the property owners, just
Right.
trying to vet everything.
Yeah.
I'm impressed, but it's not for everybody, and absolutely respect the homeowner. I'm
Exactly.
just so grateful just to be their friend, and it's probably the similar things going to happen to other researchers like us, and
Right.
it is what it is, but maybe it's right for somebody. I'm sure
Hopefully.
it is.
Okay, David Rossi, he asked, he's curious of what our thoughts are on how the Sasquatch will react. What are your thoughts?
I think they will react to it personally.
Yeah,
But
good or
I
bad,
think,
or
yep, but
it depends on the Sasquatch and how they. I think the homeowner would be able to answer that, or the property owner, if they have
Yep.
like ongoing activity. I know on my property, I never put up any game cameras or anything like that, because for 2 reasons. The first reason was I'm not a techie person. I looked at cameras online and saw the buttons and gadgets and
Yes. Yeah.
oh God,
A lot of commitment there.
yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and my other thought was I didn't know how they would react, and I felt uncomfortable. But I think primarily for me, I was intimidated by all the buttons and
Right.
knobs
Me,
and so
me
on.
too. Me too. And I think that's the same way for so many homeowners. So
Yeah.
it that's removed
Yeah.
from you and them.
Yeah.
So let me clarify when the question was how would they react, and I said absolutely. What I mean by that is they'll adapt.
Yeah.
So I think what we would likely see is them testing it,
Mhm.
adapting, changing their behavior around it, and catching them by accident. But gonna get something, especially with that thermal. And
Yeah.
I think it's still going to be a heat blob squatch. It's going to be tough, but they've made mistakes before. I mean,
Mhm.
it's all over the place. But I think just that alone of them testing it, and they'll adapt and maybe change their route. And that's why a location is important, that it has multiple ways that they can approach the property to keep a lane open, just like our other site. We
Yeah.
end up putting the cameras over here, the activity goes over there, and put the cameras there. It's really neat how they adapt.
Yeah.
And
That
as we
and at
stop
least
them,
right. And on our research property, uh, the Bigfoot have they've reacted. Oh God, yes, they've reacted, but in different ways. They've uh, deactivated. They've
oh
turned the
yes, yeah,
cameras.
there's gonna be
They've
some challenges with that on occasion.
Yeah, they've
Yeah.
removed the cameras and taken them down. They have removed batteries and SIM cards, which is holy
Hmm.
cannoli, you know?
Uh-huh. Right when that camera was in the background line of sight during the day, and it's not even dark yet, had some activity. Oh, camera should have caught that. Now we go to get the camera. As you walk up, the camera is askew. Yeah, door is open, and the SD. That's what she's talking about. The SD card was pulled out. It's like,
Yeah, how?
yeah,
You think those big Gigunda fingers, how can
yeah,
they
yeah.
manipulate something so
There was even
tiny?
sebum on the corner of it, but
Yeah,
how do they even know? Okay, so it has to be human interaction. Well, even
yeah,
at that is who, when, in the
yeah,
middle of nowhere, and multiple times, over a couple of years.
yeah.
It's like, so the mystery's fun, you know?
Yes, yes, I
Yeah,
agree. It's the mystery, but doggone it, it's fun dealing with them because they make it fun. It's an
yep,
adventure. It's every single time I go up there, and unfortunately I can't go up there as often, as I want to, but it's like mind blowing what they do.
yep, yep. And the exercise of the critical thinking
Yeah,
uh, outside of your normal lane, and uh, it just keeps the brain turning. That's for sure.
yeah.
You know,
You're
it,
trying to outwit something that
yeah,
you cannot underestimate them.
no,
You honestly cannot. People. I know at first I think JP put up. I don't know how many cameras he put up, and they always seem to evade them somehow.
yep, yep,
But I think, like you said, that thermal might be the game changer.
yep, and add a little bit of a further distance too.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they they move at night there, and I've
Yeah.
caught them quickly. Well, that's too long of a story, but yeah, their confidence is definitely greater at night, and
Yeah.
I've I've had them on thermals, but you know how it is. It's a blob squatch.
Yeah.
You know, that's one heat, you know,
Right.
and who has the time to play games like that sit down there and wait for me to show up with my thermal and
Yeah.
stand out in that woods cold, hopefully that Todd catches it to prank me. To what benefit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something they truly are. Okay.
And
Let's
a sense
see.
of humor too.
Oh goodness. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. David says lots to
Thank you,
think
David.
about. Yeah. Thank you both. Oh, thank you, David.
Yep. Thank you, David.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I hope, please come back, David. Yeah, because Todd is a frequent visitor here, and we'll get Logan back on again. And hopefully we'll get, he'll get more people, not just yourself and the other person who responded. But hopefully, there'll be other people who will contact him. And, we're just hoping for, him to get more properties. This is a wonderful experiment, and that needs to be done and shared. And well, doggone it, like I mentioned, the people who are here in the chat room alone, I know that there's a couple people who are bedbound or they're disabled.
Yep.
And this is they have a passion for it, but they're physically incapable.
Yep.
But the mind is still there and the eyes are
Right.
still sharp.
Right.
And,
Right.
This is a way that people can contribute.
Yep. Yep. And totally be a part of it. I mean,
Yeah,
this whole thing relies on people like that.
it really does.
And and I believe Mary also, we believe in what Logan's trying to do, and there's no benefit to us. I mean,
No,
these other sites and projects we probably will never be part of.
Yeah.
We just want to help him go forward with it because what he's doing, and for me, kind of who who he is, I've learned who he is.
Mhm.
That's important to me, and just a regular, humble, really smart guy, that like the rest of us.
Yeah.
So wherever this venture takes him, we're just trying to get the word out for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's what's important. But yeah, everyone, we do appreciate you, sticking with us and watching, and Todd, well, maybe if you can, well, it's almost 10 o'clock. I finally figured out how I can go onto your YouTube channel
Oh,
and share your things.
okay.
So
I don't want to pull one quick one up. You might see one with,
okay.
How about throwing rocks? There might be something on the short.
Okay, hold on.
I forget the name of it, but I don't have too many shorts. It would be a couple videos down. And if I've done a few shorts of just being silly,
Okay.
Gotta have a sense of humor with yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I want to
couple-
subscribe to Logan's channel first before I move on to something else, because I don't want to lose it.
Right.
Okay, there.
And
I'm sharing it on my page. Get that taken care of. Okay. All right, now yours. I think I just need to hit the back button a couple times because I was on it earlier.
Okay.
There it is. Okay, what are we looking for?
Geez, I don't even remember now. I'm trying to go to my channel too to see which one here.
Okay, let me bring this up.
I'll just find something on shorts. Not that one. a bit older there. I know there is one with a pebble.
Is it on Shorts?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay.
Of course, the name is really short too on YouTube, abbreviating it.
It's actually on the hand.
Okay. Handprints, rock thrown while documenting.
Yeah.
Bigfoot?
Yep.
Okay.
So these, what
And
we're
that's
doing
when
is we're
Dave's on the
seeing like
FLIR.
pollen that's sticking to the polycarbonate. We're seeing the lack of. There we go. So you just hear that?
Yes.
Yep. We just had another pebble thrown at us.
And I'm checking the woods with a FLIR right now. I don't see a dang thing.
Yep.
Oh, there's
Isn't that something? And that hit up a little high. Yeah, and you can see those there now.
Here comes another one.
You heard another one?
I heard one come through the trees. I didn't hear it.
Oh yeah, and that's what I heard before. They don't all make it. You can hear it going through the canopy.
He's over there by that
Yep.
the nest or there's a tree for it.
Yep. Dave, since we've documented, I'm half tempted to go to the front porch right now and see if we get
Come in.
more handprints.
More handprints. Or
Yep. So these, what we're doing is we're seeing like the
Here.
pollen that's sticking to the polycarbonate. We're seeing the lack of. There we go. So you just hear that?
Yes.
Yep. We just had another pebble thrown.
Yeah, that's so on the shorts. You'll see one that's kind of a purple blue color video, and that's same place, same scenario. I'm documenting the handprints I just found, and it throws a pebble at me.
Okay, yeah, there's another one. Pebble
Yep.
go next to me as I document. Okay, hold
Yep.
on a second. Let me get back.
Nice handprints too. I captured there.
Okay, let me get over there.
More handprints. There's something always there with the nose or forehead. All right. That was just a pebble thrown at me from the woods. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. They're not going to be looking at me. I know they're not. It's right where I saw the red eyes before.
That purple
Had
light,
one run
boy.
along here on me.
I tricked with
And the
that. You
Scooby-Doo
only get a
quadruped
second, but
run
boy,
by
the
was
way
right
that
here.
their eyes in particular looking that purple
Mhm.
or blue, whatever color you want to call that.
More handprints.
I seem to be able to just that white light. They know that purple. I just get a moment longer, and like I say, lots of times they'll be white. They're kind of different looking, but what's
Yeah.
interesting is they cast their eyes away. Is what they'll do, not just
Yeah.
close them.
Yeah,
And your
turn their
other
head.
animals, yeah, they don't react like that. Just these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, they'll turn their head so it won't catch their eyes.
Yep. And that's the flashlight I was talking about when I would get up out of bed,
Mm-hmm.
take a look outside those windows. As soon as I got out of bed, there was that tree knock, and it's kind of nice that that flashlight makes that clicking because
Yeah.
I could tie it to the audio that was out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited about that audio, and I'll tell you what was so compelling to me too is so I sleep with a CPAP machine, and you can tell when somebody's in the sleep. You get the rhythm of it, and I mean, I just got the thing going, and it the CPAP machine's near the window, incidentally, and the recorder's on the other side, and you can hear it just starting to breathe with it right when the things approach, and you can hear the rocks that they're walking on break a stick off and starts eating those leaves. I mean, didn't wait a second. It's like they have the routines just timed. It's creepy.
Yeah.
Impressive though too.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I'd hop up out of bed to go check, there's a boom, that tree knock out there warning whomever to keep their head down. It's just amazing the strategy, and that's how they remain undetected.
Yeah.
Working together and the communication,
Mm-hmm.
and that's also what Logan stuff could pick up and help verify with the audio and such.
Right.
That
It's
the
not only
strategy.
the video. Yeah, it's the audio also.
Yep.
Yeah, that's of importance. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And the video is nice too, because
Yeah.
let's say that there was some sounds of unique interest. The video supports it, like, oh, there isn't somebody standing there, whoop,
Mhm.
works that way too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So this is good to know, Mary, because when I get some of that audio, my goal is to be able to put it on the YouTube channel. So
Yeah.
that'll be one way we can play it. You want to play another fun one?
Sure.
It's the one that you see, the pink.
Okay. Let me go back.
Yep, it's a couple after this one.
Okay. Second set of
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
Yep, you were there for that weekend.
Okay.
Keep floating her around like that. Need to get a different angle. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Real nice there. Uh-huh. And this is 6 foot. That's more than that. Again, keep floating her around like that. Need to get a different angle. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Real nice there. Uh-huh. And this is 6 foot. That's more than that.
So that's the bedroom window that I'm referencing, the bedroom that I was in, and that's the one that faces the woods.
Yeah.
And I keep the blinds up and the curtains open just like that. And these things are seeing me get out of bed from.
Yeah.
I think we're deeper in the woods, so they could be damn near 100 yards. It's
Right.
amazing.
Yeah, that weekend, if that's the weekend I'm thinking of,
Yes.
I was supposed to be sleeping in that bedroom.
Yes.
I had gone in there earlier in the night, to get my bed things together, but decided to sleep out in the sunroom instead.
And that's when they tagged your played the bongos.
Yeah.
Yep. So that weekend, that window, so you're seeing the couple handprints.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next, so I dusted them. They're just a lot easier to photograph.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I lifted some, and I'm sure I did a DNA sample.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes, you did. I documented that the next morning.
You did. So it still has a lot of the powder from the dusting on the window. And then the next night, they put one handprint in between that. So now what you're seeing is the absence of the lifting powder that I had. And then the next night, they added another handprint to it. So over the course of a couple nights, there was 5 different handprints on that window. And that place was busy. There was a bunch of us there. And it's like, wow.
I know, it was one thing after another. I think it was the night before that they put their handprints on my truck.
Yep.
And they whacked the tonneau cover with a to get our attention. I think it sounded like a huge drum.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
but
They played it a couple times.
Yeah.
You know what? I think on those shorts. So before that, there is the one with the house slaps.
Okay.
So I would advise people to turn this up, and actually, if you really want to hear it awesome, like in your vehicle, Bluetooth, turn it up so you can hear it. And you can hear this thing walk up this ramp, and there's a pause, and the house is right there. It slaps the house so hard. You're hearing the rattling. That's the pictures on the wall and stuff. And she was having activity, all that going on so frequently. She just took her phone and just put it on record by the windowsill, and that's what she captured. It's pretty good.
Yeah, which
So
what's the title?
you'll see it. It's black background with the yellow type within it. It's Bigfoot House Slaps. So I think yeah, go up a little bit more, I think. Keep going up. Yep, it's to the right of the top one there. Well, it's on my screen, it's to the right.
Okay.
So the black lettering there.
House Slaps. Is that what it's titled?
Yes. Yep. Black
Okay,
background, yellow lettering.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at the title down here, the
Yeah,
title of
yeah.
the video, not what's on there. Okay.
Yep. So people, you're going to replay this and turn it up.
And they have all your workstation tables, all of your stainless steel tables for the kitchen, and we have something here for the walk-through desk as well. Nothing but the best sellers, especially Inc. And they have all your workstation tables, all of your stainless steel tables for the kitchen, and we have something here for the walk-through desk as well.
So it doesn't do a lot of justice. And yeah, the TV's right there. So when you can, like I say, in your car, good stereo, you can turn it up. You can hear it walk up the ramp. You hear the boom, boom, boom. So being a ramp, as it's walking with the weight, the closeness to the ground, kind of changes the tone, the note. So knowing the place, you can hear that difference. Pause, slap on the house, and it does it a lot more justice. You can hear things shaking, and then it's boom, 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 boom. You can hear it walk off, just like when you're ding dong ditch as a kid. You know, you approach a little bit slower, hit that doorbell, turn around, run away.
Yep.
That one's pretty cool.
Kids.
Yeah.
Yep. Kids.
Oh, you're right. They are exactly like kids.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know if you want to do another. Let's see.
Yeah, let's do one more.
Okay. What is really interesting? Let me watch this one real quick. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this would be in the shorts, would be towards the bottom. And I can't see the title from here. Yeah, just go to the keep scrolling down. Okay, so
More.
yep, hold on right there. Yep, so those bottom two,
Yeah.
it's going to be the one to the left.
Bigfoot fence crossing with hair.
Yep, that's the kill box.
Okay, yeah, I figured.
And you'll see the nice sample that I collected with the flesh tag.
Tracks. So like branches set there, push down. And, you know, it's obviously so hard to tell that these are tracks. Some of them look like some big tracks right up to where there's tracks again. Again, it's that set of pines that we think that they stand and watch the farmer up over there. And these look like they're tracks in here. And I think this is where they're crossing. And this is where the hair is and where it's pushed down and pulled up. I'll be collecting that. I'm seeing what.
Oh yeah, really. Maybe it's the other one that shows it. But
so the branches
there,
there, push
there
down.
is hair on it, and there's one. It's a real long
line where they're walking.
Flesh tag, like everybody's always wanted. This is 2020, and I collected it, kept it.
And again,
but that snow, those tracks come
Right line
right up
where
to the
they're walking.
fence.
Mhm.
And
The fence
it
is
starts
kinked.
on the other
That's from
side.
downward
And this is
pressure,
where I had my
something pushing
encounter.
down
This is where it all
across
started
over.
at my
Yeah.
house.
And again,
And I
Wow.
the branch
continue to
is
go
kinked.
there and collect
Right
hair
line where
off
they're
the
walking.
same section of
Because the
fence
fence
of
is
all the
kinked.
other
That's
miles
from downward pressure,
here.
something
And
pushing
it's where
down
they closed
across
their
over.
organized deer drive. So our study site just sent me a text
Oh,
and
okay.
said, you and Mary talking got house slaps. I guess it misses you.
Yep.
Just
Robin,
like we were saying, it's
tell them we said hi.
yes. Yep. Yep. Hey guys, Grandma, Grandpa, Bigfoot. Yeah, love that place. Love going there. I mean, I was there for Thanksgiving. A couple years ago, I went there for my birthday. Just good people.
Yeah.
Whether anything happens or not, it's like a mini vacation for me. I just
Oh, it
enjoy
is.
going there. Yeah.
Yeah, they're wonderful
They are.
people. They
They are.
really are. I love them both, and
Yep.
um, very sweet couple.
They are.
And just even without the Bigfoot activity there,
That's
which is
right. Yep.
doggone fun. It's just nice going there and visiting with them.
Yep.
Um,
And their strength is amazing. Both of
yeah,
them.
yeah,
Both of them. The things that they face and the
yeah,
strength that
yeah.
they have leaves an impression on me.
Yes,
I just
I agree.
yeah.
And if you're praying people, keep them in your prayers, please.
Yes, absolutely. That's right. Yeah, they're tough people in a good way.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, yeah. Just a lot to be gleaned from them.
They got grit.
They do. Old school, and I think that's where the Grandma, Grandpa, Bigfoot comes from, because it reminds me of like my grandparents going there as a kid, but like the role models that they are, and that older generation that was just rugged, endured, and they kept a positive outlook and just got things done. Just yeah. You could play that one regarding the handprints, where the handprints on my truck cap.
This
Still?
okay.
Yeah, that's from a year ago, and they're still there on my truck cap. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, my husband washed off his truck and the handprints from the truck.
It depends on what it is. So like my Dodge Defender flares, the running boards still have them, but boy, that truck cap, it's like embedded in it.
Yeah, yeah, that's a different surface.
Yep.
And that the sebum, the oil on their hands, it's just amazing characteristics.
Yep, it is. It's tough. So I might be selling that truck cap soon. So hopefully it adds value.
All right, people. So if you need a truck cap for a whatever kind of truck that is.
You can play the video. I was being a smart aleck, but you can play the audio if you want. Maybe it adds value. I mean, all us people interested in Bigfoot and Bigfoot investigators, hey, we all roll with the code, a little bit of sticker that, hey, it's all right. We're in the same club. We can talk about Bigfoot. Hey, who's lucky enough to walk around with the print in their cap that doesn't come off? And hopefully it's a selling feature. When I go to trade this in sometime, I can give them a copy of it. It's the real deal. Maybe it adds value. I mean, all us people interested. And I can't, it amazes me with audio. So that those cows are like a mile away. You can hear them in the background. It just, yeah. It sounds like I got them in my backyard. No, they're the next hill. It's, and that sebum will stick to glass. And you can clean it, think you have it. sometimes you just only like smudge it over. It's
Yeah,
like you
it's
need a
like
razor.
glue. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost like glue,
Yeah. Yeah.
if you have like if you take a sticker off of or price tag off of
Yeah.
something and there's still that little bit of glue residue,
Yep.
It's like that.
Yep. Yep. And anything else that it touches, those handprints will stay out there longer. And that's why I tell people, don't, because I was this way, and I still am super careful with them. But
Mhm.
don't be afraid of lifting them, man. Just talcum powder,
Yeah.
good tape. I mean, I use the actual forensic lifting tape, but sometimes I'll just use a good thick milled tape that's nice and clear, and it's Gorilla tape, no less. And I know I'm being a smart aleck saying that, but it's really what I use, the Gorilla tape. And then I transfer it to photocopier paper. So if you were printing photos at home, and I transfer it to that, and it looks nice.
Yeah. Melvin says it's probably sap. I don't. I'm sure some of it is sap, but then not consistently, not every single time.
Yeah.
They touch,
Yep.
the windows, because this is
Yep.
almost on a
Yep.
daily basis.
Yep.
They're putting their handprints, on these windows.
Yep. Yep.
Pine tree. Yeah,
Yep.
this is
It is like some of that, but it makes no sense. The hair that I collect off that kill box area continuously reminds me of like a turkey beard. Those will have that and be like intertwined and almost like making cordage, like you took some fibers, twisted them up, and dipped your finger in like candle wax. And, Yep, strung it together. No, I can't explain it, but what I can tell you, it's not just random and it's not just tree sap. I have a ton of these, and I probably shouldn't say much more because
both Todd and myself, we've sent in samples of this, and unfortunately, we haven't heard back.
no, it'll take a long time. If you do.
Well, it's been, I think, almost a year.
Yeah.
I don't know how long does it take.
She just said that when her grandkids were in from Michigan, they probably found the handprint when they got home. There was a handprint on their vehicle. Yeah, that was kind of, I know that was awkward. Had to be awkward at that time when the grandkids were into explain things that are going on, and there was a lot of activity, and to not, scare the kids and stuff.
Yeah, you don't want to scare the kids, and
yeah, go explain that one. The grandkids are probably better than your children themselves. Oh, grandma, grandpa, okay, they're losing it now. I think when they get back to Michigan, and and this happens all the time too. It's like days later, it's like, what's that handprint? And it, like that truck cap. That truck cap started because there was handprints on the window. I didn't see that other handprint for a while. It took a while for like the dirt and such to stick to it to make it visible. And what it did at that time, when it looked in the truck cap window, then the next hand was like this to look in the back of my truck, back seat, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
And that handprint, like I say, is still on the truck cap, and it was September 23rd, 2023.
Yeah, so I don't know if pine tree
Just tree sap
would last
just
for 2 years.
Just the bear.
Yes, it's just a bear. Yeah.
Yep. And you do have to rule out the simplest stuff.
You
But,
do, yes, because, we have to be skeptics,
Yep.
no matter what, because everything is not Bigfoot.
And-
We have to go through, and I go through my mind, okay, what else could it possibly be? And, you roll things out until finally, what else do you come to,
And then we do like a lot of peer review too,
Yeah.
to test each other.
Yes.
What do you think? And I think it kind of goes without saying to,
Mhm.
We want to be embarrassed, even among other Bigfoot believers. We don't want to be embarrassed. So if we start like a different level of staking claims, we still apply the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's what this subject suffers from. People might be a little interested in it, but it can immediately just glance at it. And I'm not being mean about the tree sap thing, but I'm going to use it as an example. It's just tree sap. Oh, that's rolled out. Oh my gosh, I never thought of that. And next, so human nature, we all do it. It's like we're making a decision on something without knowing all the information. And how can they know all the information unless they were there with you? So it's a challenge to prove any of this for anybody, but it's also a challenge for the consumer of the information because, I do the same thing. I'll look at that. Oh, just a shadow. It's just a tough subject. It is.
Oh, it is.
What did David say? I missed that.
Let's see. I hope we're all alive when our grandkids are studying with these people in biology class.
Yes. Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
And what was the other question?
Patty says they must
Where's
have
my
thought
cookies?
you were sleeping in the cab and probably found you in the cab of the truck sleeping.
Yeah. Yep. She knows I do that.
Yes.
At this place, it's where I'll sleep in the camper and get those handprints on the camper window while sleeping in there.
Yeah.
But Patty makes good cookies, and you make great bagels, homemade bagels.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they are. They're too good. So
Yes,
I
they
kind
are.
of put a pause on it. Okay, don't need that many carbs.
Right. And it's not just the bagel, it's the butter and the cream cheese.
Cream cheese. Yeah. Well, it's a must. You have to have cream cheese on your bagels.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right. Yep.
You haven't had my pepperoni rolls yet, though.
No, that sounds delicious.
And, that's a local West Virginia, Western Pennsylvania, Southeastern Ohio thing where you take a piece of dough and you put slices of pepperoni on it and some cheese and you roll it up until it's about like that.
Nice.
Like 5-6 inches long by 4 inches wide. Like a what do they call it? A pasty.
Yeah. Yep.
And bake it, and it's good.
You're making me hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's good, like hunting food that you can put in a Ziploc, roll it up, put it in the top pocket.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Yeah. David says, "Yum."
Yeah. So next week you have your Gettysburg camp out?
Yeah, the 24th through the 27th. That's Michaud State Forest. That's maybe half an hour or so from Gettysburg.
There's a couple recent podcasts talking about that state forest and some pretty good stories.
Okay.
I think Bigfoot Society, I heard it on there.
Oh, yeah.
Or Wes's thing. But yeah, just recently heard that.
Good. Yeah, somebody else mentioned to me that there was a recent report that I haven't heard yet. So hopefully that person will contact me because I've never been there. I don't know that much about it. There are some reports. I'm just not real familiar with that area. So
Yeah.
it'll be new to me.
I'm not familiar with it as far as the forested area other than Gettysburg.
Yeah,
So is it to the north and west of Gettysburg?
Gettysburg, it would be southwest slightly. Yeah, southwest, right along the Maryland state line, Pennsylvania, Maryland state
Okay.
line.
Yep. Got it. Yeah, from Little Round Top, you
Yes.
can see a mountain chain, a wooded one there.
Mhm. There's Bigfoot sightings there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There have been, well, of course, ghost sightings also,
Oh yeah.
but there have been Bigfoot sightings at Little Round Top.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yep.
Well, and back in the day, they used to have the deer problem there was out of control, and it makes sense to go where the deer are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be fun. You know, hopefully I'll have time to get into Gettysburg also, but
Yeah.
probably not.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make that one.
Yeah. It's a distance for you.
Yeah. Yep. And I have to get down to my former hunting camp there with the kill box before
Yes.
the leaves come out.
Oh, I want to get back in there
I
too.
want you to too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spend the night up there. I want to get another camper. I need I need another truck.
Yes.
That's what it is. I need to get another truck.
Yep. I like that little van setup you had.
Yeah, well, right now it's U-Hauls. I rent the $19.95 a day U-Hauls, and that's what I camp out of.
Yeah,
right now.
that's clever. That's a clever way to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what's weird though? At the Allegheny National Forest, at the one campground that we were at where you came,
Mm-hmm.
I had the U-Haul there, and on the side of the van, there was a picture, a huge, large picture of a woman. And, you know, all that weekend, the Bigfoot were shaking other people's vans and vehicles and campers.
Yep.
They did not touch my van. And I'm thinking it was because of that photo on the
Very
side
interesting.
of the van.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, they respond to my cartoon, handprints and cartoon face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. I just have to save up my nickels and pennies and get another truck.
Yep.
I'm just lost.
Lou won't let you borrow that one, huh?
He lets me borrow it, but I don't want to leave him without transportation. so-
Right. All right.
But tell you what,
Yes.
it's 10:30
Yep. We should.
and time to, I think, shut this down. And
Yep.
now, next week, are you on someone else's podcast schedule?
No. So I will keep you posted on my development with those files and stuff.
Yes.
It's a lot of work. JP's even having somebody from his organization from
Yeah.
Seeking Ontario's Beast.
No, Seeking Ontario's Bigfoot.
Yeah.
SOB.
Keep trying to put beast in it for some reason, but yeah, SOB though, I do love that.
I know.
Yeah.
SOB, Seeking Ontario's Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And I think it's .com, but check that out, guys, if you get a chance.
Yep. Yeah, they're doing great work.
Yeah.
And again, it's surprising that the activity that they have as well.
Yeah.
Right in the suburbs, and casting tracks coming through those greenways.
Yeah.
Old line cryptics, good bunch of guys. Yeah, hit the like button.
Yes.
Subscribe
Hulk
to her
Smash.
channel.
Yep.
Subscribe
Hulk
to mine
Smash.
too.
Yeah. Subscribe to Todd's channel.
Yep.
And the Logan's also.
Yes.
Subscribe to all three of us and watch the videos and like them and throw in a comment too, because it helps the algorithm.
Helps us be found.
Yeah, it helps us to be found, helps the, other people to, find us and watch us and share the word.
Yep.
Flat Rock, yes, audio is very important.
Yep.
And Melvin, yeah, thank you so much, Melvin. I appreciate it. And we'll see you next
Yeah,
week.
thank you, Melvin. Yes. I will. You too. You too. Thank you.
Okay. And yeah, thank you guys.
Yes,
and,
thank you, everyone.
Yeah, and next week, Todd, I don't think I have anyone scheduled. So
Okay. Let me see first if we can get some of these files narrowed down, be able to share them. And that is the audio is awesome, but when you leave a recorder out there for 2 hours and you have to start that Audacity. Now I think of it, the name kind of rhymes with something else. Yeah, it's a pain in the butt.
Yes.
To work with.
Yes,
it is.
I have attempted it years ago. Whenever I was with the MABRC organization, I was on their audio evidence review board.
Yep.
And I tried my doggonest to learn Audacity, and it couldn't do it.
And it is easy to get the audio in there. The spectrograph is great for seeing things, and you can hear it.
Yeah.
But what then? It's the isolating that and exporting it to do.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a challenge of mine, and even JP's having trouble with. But hopefully, his associate there has a little more success, and we'll have something. And we're grateful for it. But it'll be really interesting.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any guests scheduled for next week. So if you're able to jump in.
I will, and we'll find a way to get it. I mean, the audio is fun. I mean, the chewing, the grunting, the whispering, the tree knocks, and even farting.
Yes.
If you
somebody else, I was talking to somebody else who was a couple last night or night before. They were telling me a story of that they heard a Bigfoot eating, and he's going through it, and then he said, and you'll never believe what else he did. And instantly my thought went to and that's what he said. He said, and it farted.
Yep. And and how I not confirmed it, but it just became more suspect. So, I pulled up YouTube, the sound of gorillas eating. Oh my God, the parallel. But video after video, the gorillas eating and they fart when they're eating apparently is common. And some are really comical because sometimes they'll do it and we'll get a look around like, did anybody notice, or who was that?
Where'd that come from?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a dog.
Me. But it's uncanny how it sounds exactly like a gorilla eating. And there's it'll be fun.
Okay, well,
all right, sounds good.
Yes. All right. So, all right. You have a good evening. We'll see you next week then.
All right. Yep. Take care. Night.
You too. Bye. All right, guys. Let's just shut this down, and thank you for joining us. Thank you so much, for coming on and just joining us here. I just wanted to scan quickly through these comments to make sure I didn't miss anything. But yeah, we we're on every Wednesday evening, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. So please join us. Put us, click on that notification, that little bell, and click it so you'll receive all notifications. Dave, thank you. So we're just going to end it here for the night, and we will see you next week. All right. So have a great evening. God bless. And Monkey Wench out.